Good morning, live from Sunset Lakes, Oakhumka, Florida. My name is Wade Cox. We're here with host owner Jack Travers. Jack's one of the greatest water ski coaches of all time. Jack must be awesome. Not only have you coached your son, but you've coached all these champions, and now you're hosting them here, third annual Travers Grand Prix.
Yeah, it's great. Actually, my son John has been one putting this together, and this year's a little different. Normally we do go-kart racing, but we're going to throw in top golf instead of go-karting. But we're looking forward to a great weekend.
And we got the skeet shooting. I was down with the boys with your son John, with Will Asher. We had a lot of fun down there at the practice skeet shooting, huh?
Oh, that's great. It's a great addition to the sport.
Well, and we have 45 amateurs that got the invite here, so they get to ski along with the pros. We got 5 women, we got 10 men. What do we expect from the pro women?
Well, we got great conditions. We got some great skiers. We look forward to them knocking on the door for a record.
Yeah, and then we got some real heavies in the men's field, eh?
Absolutely, Freddie, John, Benny, the list goes on. Corey Vaughn's here. We got some really heavy hitters.
So, Jack, you started. It was called initially International Tournament Skiing, which drew me in. You started in 1973, and the lake we're standing on, this was about 1985, 1986?
Yeah, I think we had our first tournament in 1985 here. It's been a long road, but it's well worth it now.
Yeah, this is home to many, many records in all 3 events. But today, guys, we get to see a whole bunch of great slalom. Looking forward to it.
Well, thanks a lot, Wade. Thanks a lot, Jack, for that great intro into this event. This is the 3rd annual Travers Grand Prix, right here at the home of International Tournament Water Skiing, Sunset Lakes, just outside Groveland in Florida. And this is the schedule how it's going to play out today. We're going to be starting at 10 a.m., which is in less than 30 minutes from now. 10 a.m. start for amateurs in round 1, followed by pro women. Estimated time for the start on that is going to be around about 1 o'clock, give or take. That's going to be round 1 of pro women, and then we got the pro men to come afterwards, and then we got a second round of amateurs before we round off today's skiing. And we'll have plenty of skiing tomorrow as well. Let's take a look at the air temperature. It's 79 degrees now, but I promise you it's going to get a lot hotter than that between now and the middle portion of the day. Water temperature constant 84 degrees, pretty warm, making for great slalom conditions. And I don't know if you've noticed, but it is pretty darn calm out there. So what little wind there is very, very occasional. So yes, my name is indeed Tony Lightfoot. Great to have you on board for another great broadcast here of a pro water ski event. We've done quite a lot of these over the last few weeks, haven't we? Despite the worldwide pandemic and everything that's gone on in relation to that, and we appreciate every single one of you tuning in to these broadcasts. Without you, we wouldn't have an audience, we wouldn't have a webcast. So great to have you on board. We're taking a live look at our interior of the boat, and it is the Ski Nautique by Correctcraft. Their engine is a 6.2 liter PCM, producing 450 horsepower and providing 465 foot-pounds of torque. So plenty of grunt there. Now obviously that kind of power is probably more going to be utilized by the jumpers more than any other event. But having that kind of horsepower, having that kind of power in reserve, means that the prop doesn't have to spin nearly as much to get to necessary speed. And we'll cross over to Wade Cox, and I believe he has someone else to talk to. Wade, what's up?
Hey, so now I'm here with John Travers, who actually does all the grunt work around here, him and his big brother Chris. Dad Jack still does a whole bunch of riding in the boat, But we talked about sort of the changes this year, John, with the format. Now we're doing the golf instead of the go kart.
Yeah, totally. With the whole COVID this year, it's been challenging just to have the event. After I went to the U.S. Nationals and saw everyone doing a very good job, in my opinion, of doing social distancing, that's when I got together with all my sponsors and said, hey, guys, I think we can do this event. Then they all came back at me and fired, how are you going to do go-karting when we all share helmets? So I was like, man, okay. My whole thing is getting amateurs with the pros. So I always wanted to do Topgolf. I thought that's a fun, very fun atmosphere. So that's where that came about, and everyone liked it, and we're going to see how it goes.
Well, yeah, water skiers are known to go golfing when it's too windy to ski. So, yeah, it sort of goes hand in hand. And then tell us about the skeet shooting. We got it set up right here on site, huh?
Yeah, down at the end of the lake, we have a 2-station skeet shoot. One clay is getting thrown away from you. One clay will get thrown at you. Best score is 10. You get 4 practice shots. And then you just take that and put it towards your team score. And then top with your skiing, the skiing works kind of off your average, off of any kind of a list that you're on, European list, American, international, whatever that is, minus 6 buoys. So if my average is 2 at 41, my zero score in my tournament would be 2 at 39. So it kind of helps a lot of the kids and even myself getting the positive numbers instead of giving your team a negative number, but even though you skied really well. And then the top golf is we're just doing the 3 little putting kind of, I say short distances, the first 3 targets, and you get 20 shots. I think it's like 10, 5, and 5 or something like that in the 3 targets, and you just take all your 3 scores from your pro and your 2 amateurs, and then your winners get a goodie bag from HO with tons of gear, first through third. So it's going to be an exciting tournament. The weather can't be better, and I can't be more excited to have it start today.
Awesome. Thanks so much, John. And tear it up on the water, too.
Thanks, buddy.
Back to you, Tom.
All right, then. Thanks a lot, Wade. Thanks a lot, JT. And had a little bit of a practice myself out there with the shooting. And I mean, yesterday, oh, man, was it ever something to behold. Hadn't actually shot a clay pigeon rifle in a long time, and then I discovered that I shoot better left-handed than I do right-handed, even though I am right-handed and I ski left foot forward. So what about that? I'm probably going to give that a try a little bit later on, and we'll continue right along to the format of the event. Let's see. Let's have a look at the format. We've got amateurs, obviously. We've got pros, and here is the format. It's the best score of 2 rounds, and then we've got the top 3 women go into the final, top 6 men go into the final, and it promises to be an absolute humdinger among our pro competitors. But let's not count out our amateur skiers as well. The few of those skiers that see on the list are capable of producing some decent scores. So watch out for that crowd as well. So this is the 2020 Travers Grand Prix, and as you can see, not a wave in the water out there. It is absolutely perfect. And we've got, there's the schedule where I told you 10 a.m. is going to be a start for the amateurs, then approximately 1 p.m. for the pro women, 1:45 for the pro men, and then the amateurs second round for them is going to be 3:30. Beyond the actual starting time for our first event, those times beyond that are approximate. So these are our event sponsors. It's HO Syndicate Skis, Nautic Towboats, Mike O'Demullo, Mike and Kerry Morgan, JackTravers.com, along with a Ski Dock. We thank those guys very, very much indeed for their support of this event. Certainly been rather interesting and challenging times to hold events full stop, never mind actually getting the support for them. But we appreciate them very, very much indeed, as I'm sure you guys and girls out there do as well. So we've got an event coming up. We've got the amateurs are coming up pretty soon, and we're going to cross over to another interview subject. Wade has got Elizabeth Montavon.
Hey guys, I'm here with Elizabeth Montavon. Liz, this is our third pro event that I've seen yet here recently. The women have been added in here to the Travers Grand Prix Pro-Am. Must be pretty fun, huh?
You know, I'm super excited. When John called me and asked me if I wanted to participate, if I was available this weekend, I was just so excited to hear that women were being included. I think this is a really cool event in that it's multifaceted because it's more than just skiing, and there's a really cool team dynamic between the amateurs and the pros. So yeah, I am so excited that we've been added to this event.
No, awesome. And yeah, as you mentioned, not only are you doing the other events, but having a team and being amateurs, that adds a whole sort of new element to water skiing, right?
Yeah, it really does, and we're getting to spend some time, more time around people that we might see them at tournaments, but we don't really get to know them as well, or maybe it's just like, you know, passing by each other on a starting dock. So the team dynamic, getting to spend time with these people, I think it's just really important because skiing is a community, and this is a great way to reinforce, you know, that value in our tournaments.
So Elizabeth, how's the skeet shooting and how's the golf?
So I haven't done either, but I'm pretty sure I can pick up the skeet shooting because that's kind of my thing. I love, you know, shooting as a sport. Golf, I'm a little bit nervous about. Any sport that involves a ball has never really been my forte, but we'll figure it out. At least that's the last event, so I'm going to try to ski well, and then we'll just try to maintain that energy through the rest of the events.
Well, there you go. The struggle is real. See you guys.
All right, thanks a lot, Wade. Thanks a lot to Elizabeth Montavon, who's travelled all the way up from the southern reaches of Florida to be here with us and compete in this event. Glad to have her and our other remaining pros, and indeed our amateurs, for that matter, in this third annual Travers Grand Prix. We'll be back in just a few moments, right after this.
Hey, so we're down at the skeet shooting range practice, third annual Travers Grand Prix. Holy moly. Big John just ripping one, and he's pretty good, might add. Sitting here with El Capitan of HO Syndicate and also a sponsor here. Dave, how'd your practice shooting go?
Oh, it was great. I was a little bit rusty, hadn't shot a gun in about 6 years, but Will and John and Wade got me dialed in, and I feel ready for tomorrow.
So you did a little practice on the water. Now you're doing a little practice here. Will there be any top golf practice, or are you just going to wing that?
I'm going to go in cold for the golfing. You don't want to, like we said, use up your beginner's luck. So, yeah, we'll just do some mental training, and then we'll be ready to go.
Dave, third annual Travers Grand Prix. You've been a sponsor, but your first time here to compete. Got to be fun for you, huh?
Yeah, I'm stoked. You know, usually it's in the spring, and that's kind of tough for us up in Seattle to get ready for the event, but having it in the fall is awesome. We've been skiing all summer long, and it's always fun to come back to Florida in the fall and do a cool event. You know, get to ski, which we all love to do and know how to do well, but then to shoot skeet, that's pretty fun and new for us, and then yeah, golfing's always a blast at Topgolf, so looking forward to it.
Well, same as the Syndicate Hilltop Pro-Am. It's kind of cool, you know, different format than the typical professional event, right?
Yeah, and I like that. I dig the new formats. You know, I'm older, so can't really compete with the best guys in the world anymore, but I love to ski and hang around all those guys. They're my buddies, so having that Pro-Am format or that Grand Prix format's awesome, getting the amateurs and the pros to mix it up, and I think that's kind of like the future for a lot of these events.
Sitting here with El Champion, practice skeet shooting, man. You're pretty good, huh?
Yeah, I grew up in the farmlands of England. We definitely grew up with shotguns and air rifles and that kind of thing. Yeah, very comfortable with a gun.
So he's giving tips down here to the other pros, kind of like being in the boat, huh?
Yeah, it's fun. You know, we're so one-dimensional in what we do. We just slalom ski, chase buoys. So to be able to be at an event where we're doing something besides just chasing buoys, a lot of fun. I think it's like fun for us, you know, sit with Cole or John or Dave or some of the other pros and just do something different, like something else to talk about, something else to have fun with.
And we're literally sitting like 15 feet away from them blowing bombs up, so it's kind of cool. Hey, and so then we're going to Top Golf, right?
Yeah, I'm going to swing some clubs. Yeah, that should be a lot of fun. I mean, it's just about doing something different, like trying to bring some fun, trying to, we got the high-end ski, and we got one of the best lakes in the world. Going to have some awesome scores, and then we'll just go and have some fun. Like, get to hang out with people outside of the ski lake. It's neat.
Yeah, and I think it's a really cool deal that the amateurs, we started years ago with the Princess Pro-Am there in London, but when the amateurs get to share the same slalom course with Will Asher, that's a big deal.
Yeah, it's neat. It's really cool. We get to maybe share some of our expertise with them, and but then you'll notice, some of these guys are much better skeet shooters or golfers or go-karters or whatever they are. So kind of brings us out of our element, and we get to step into some of these other guys' elements. So it's pretty neat. It's humbling. It's cool. A lot of fun.
Standing here with John Travers, the owner, Travers Grand Prix. We're out here at you guys' lake, man. Must be very cool hosting event. We got Will Asher, Cole McCormick warming up down here. A little different, huh?
Yeah, it's fun. It's something different to get off the water, let us kind of mingle and not be so serious with our skiing and just have fun with it, get the amateurs together and have a team event and just have a big fun weekend tournament instead of being so serious. And that's kind of where I wanted it. I want to see the sport going is where we're just having more fun and having a lot more people that aren't at our level skiing with us and feeling what we feel.
All right, hi again, folks. My name is Tony Lightfoot. Glad to have the pleasure of your company. We have got the Travers Grand Prix 2020 coming back at you. Our event, our first category of skiers in this event, will actually be making their way out onto the water at 10 a.m. And we definitely thank those competitors for being a part of this, and indeed to all of the sponsors that you see listed below my desk. We got Jack Travers, we've got Ski Doc, Mike and Kerry Morgan, Michael DeMello. We've got Nautique, we've got Syndicate by HO, and Ski with Wade as well. So we've got all of those good folks on board with this event, and we got a great bunch of amateur skiers getting ready to go. And I think one of them is ready on standby, waiting to speak with Wade. Wade, what's up?
Hey, I'm here on shore with the Tower, who's just showing up, and one of his teammates, first skier on the dock. This is kind of cool, isn't it?
Oh, this is awesome. I couldn't miss that. I mean, I got up early to make sure I was here in time, and yeah, we're gonna have a great round today, and this is pretty exciting.
Kind of like the old Princess Pro-Am, huh? Back in the day, huh?
Yeah, it really is. It kind of has that feel, and yeah, today's gonna be so exciting with the skeet shooting and the skiing and the Pro-Am for sure.
So how's the golfing going?
We'll see. I don't know. I need longer clubs, but we'll see.
And you stand on the wrong side of the ball?
Yeah, pretty much. No cameras when I hit later on.
All right, well, tear it up today, CP.
Thank you, Wade. Good seeing you, brother.
All right, and thanks a lot, Wade, and my apologies to Chris Parrish, who I inadvertently described as an amateur skier. On the contrary, he is like one of the best skiers of all time so far as slalom skiing is concerned. At one time held the world slalom record, and continues to ski professionally. He is on that Syndicate Omega that's just come out. That new ski designed more for those skiers that prefer a wider forebody, and those that by extension tend to ski at 55k. More often than not, so maybe we'll see some great performances out there by Chris Parrish. Of that, I have no doubt. So this is the 2020 Travers Grand Prix. Great to have you on board. We're about to launch the towboat into the course. Well, it's physically launched. It's floating in the water by by that definition, but we're going to throw it into the slalom course. It's going to make it pass up and down to make sure that all necessary equipment is ready to go. And it looks like we got another skier on standby, and hopefully we'll get Wade to be in conversation with one of our amateur skiers in just a moment. And there we take a look at our live shot of our shooting range. Yes, indeed. Part of the Travers Grand Prix setup. It's a free event tournament, but not the type of free events that you're used to. We've got slalom, yes. We've got skeet shooting as well, or clay pigeon shooting to those folks across the world in Europe and wherever. And also, our final event is actually going to be a little bit of top golf. Yes, indeed, over in Orlando. So the team honors won't be decided in the strictest sense until we get done with the golf, which I believe is going to be on tomorrow night. So, but there is a shooting taking place, and we will be cutting over to some folks there taking a pop at those clay pigeons. Or I said I had a myself and discovered that I shoot better left-handed than I do right, even though I am right-handed. But there you go. And for those of you that are watching on the webcast, we thank you very, very much indeed. Already getting a strong audience, some strong numbers coming through. For those of you who are interested, so far as our audio is concerned, we are getting that situated as it goes. But we thank you for alerting us to that. We can always rely upon our webcast viewers to raise one or two comments to make sure that our webcasts are the best that they can be. And we certainly thank you for that, for those of you watching across the nation and across the world. Yes, indeed, we are very much aware that our audience is far-reaching across the Atlantic to Europe, across the Pacific over towards Australia, where I think it's in the early part of the morning, next morning, in the early hours, so to speak. So we thank each and every one of you for tuning in, and hopefully we'll get you entertained with some great skiing, not only from our pros, but also from our amateurs as well. Now, on the dock side, that is Cassandra Elliott. She'll be taken to the water first, and then we're going to follow on with Amelia Vaughn, who's traveled in from Virginia to be here, along with her husband, Corey Vaughn, who we'll see later on in the pros. We'll have Mary Koenig coming out third. Then we see Brenda Nichols in Masters Women. She's definitely someone to watch out for in this event. And then we'll see Carla Pauly, and along with Brett Swanborn, along with Eric Spletler. Then Chile's Martin Labra, along with brother and sister duo, Zach Barkwell and Nicola Barkwell. And then we'll go on to another section of amateur skiing, and then we will move on to the pros. And let's have a look at our schedule once again. For those of you that are tuning in just now, it is a 10 a.m. start. That is in 3 minutes. In 3 minutes' time on the east coast of the United States. Then we'll have pro women first round, pro men first round, and then we'll have amateurs in round two. Those are the order. That's the order of the events. So let's create some waves, shall we?
Water skiing is fun. Being cold and trying to water ski, however, can be miserable. So for all of you die-hard early and late season skiers out there, let us introduce you to your new friend, the all-new line of Syndicate Dryflex wetsuits. The goal was simple: design high-quality, long-lasting wetsuits specifically for water skiing without compromising feel and mobility. The water-repellent and quick-drying 1.5mm high-stretch neoprene provides the elasticity you want with the warmth you need. All wetsuits are constructed with glued, blind-stitched seams, as well as water seal locks on wrists and leg openings to keep you semi-dry during use. we are proud to be able to offer you another tool to keep you on the water longer and moving closer toward your goals. So before the cold water season hits, be sure to get your hands on one of these, the all-new line of Syndicate DryFlex wetsuits.
Never met a match I couldn't handle. No one else could ever hold a candle. Get ready for a battle, 'cause you know that I was born for this. I was born for this. Baby, I was born for this. I was born for this. Never met a match I couldn't handle. No one else could ever hold a candle.
All right then, folks, we're getting ready with our first competitor. This is Cassandra Elliott. This is at 28 miles an hour on long line. Come on, Cassandra, there you go. Oh, makes it on that first pass, nicely done. So at 46k on long line, or 28 miles an hour, that is Cassandra Elliott. We're going to take a look at the instant replay. Nice little start, getting good angle there on long line. And keeping both hands on the handle, which is a fundamental skill that that skiers at her level of skiing have to utilize in order to to keep the ski angled out and keep him nice and wide so she can backside the turns, which should be relatively straightforward on long line. That is Cassandra Elliott. So good effort there. That's at 46k. She's now going to go to 49k or 30 miles an hour. I'll keep you informed as to the boat speeds and line lengths in both imperial and in metric. So now approaching the course from the opposite end. This is at 49k or 30 miles an hour. The rope is still on long line. Now, as she is women's 2, she won't be able to short the line beyond this point until she actually makes it past 34 miles an hour. But I tell you what, though, she's throwing it down out there at 49k. Nicely done, 30 miles an hour. So nicely done. Just took a brief look at her previous pass, but I tell you what, the pass that she just cleared at 49k looked pretty solid as well. Getting a good vote of applause and some encouragement from the starting dock. I think a lot of the skiers are just purely grateful for the fact that they are skiing, skiing in competition. especially given what's happening globally and how much that's affecting a lot of things across the world, including competitive sports. And let's have a look and see. This is Cassandra Elliott, and this is Long Line. We're taking a looky here. Cassandra Elliott. Now, this is at 52K. This is where it starts to get a little bit dicey now. She's going to have to handle that speed. Come on, Cassandra. Not too far down course. Come on, throw that ski. Come on, throw it down. Almost buckling over the tip of a ski. Managing to get round all 6 buoys. We'll get confirmation on that very, very soon. But there was a little bit of a suspicion that she may have mishandled the gate, but let's have a look and see. This is Cassandra Elliott. Yeah, it can be. Yeah, it's the cabling. All right, so we're just seeing Cassandra Elliott to make her way through 52K or 32 miles an hour. And now that boat is coming into the course. It's still Long Line, so and it will stay there unless she runs this pass, which is going to be Long Line at 34 miles an hour now. Looking good, looking strong. Whoa, getting a little bit deep down course. She's still throwing that ski. Oh, and Buckles coming into buoy number 5. The boat's on their way to her, but decent effort there from Cassandra Elliott. Through the entrance gates, not looking bad. And just trying to get that ski on edge and trying to get across course quickly. Backsiding number 2, which is always a good practice, especially when you're carrying a lot of speed. You can use a lot of the residual angle to actually gain more angle behind the boat and stay in front of the course. But she just got a little bit off balance there off number 4, and unfortunately careened in towards the wakes. I think scoring 3.5, I would say so. 3.5 at 34 Long Line. 3.5 at 34 Long Line, which will bring our next competitor up. And there we go. Beautiful shot from inside that beautiful Nautique towboat with the 6.2 litre engine. Producing plenty of grunt for all 3 events, and some great competitive action. We've got Amelia Vaughn, who will be taken to the water next, and she'll be out there. And here with me is Mr. Wade Cox. How you doing this morning?
Thanks, Tony. Awesome to be here.
Yes, indeed. And I tell you what, the Vaughns have taken a long journey to be here. I mean, there are folks here that barely have to travel 15, 20 minutes, maybe half an hour or an hour at most. But Amelia and Corey have traveled all the way from Bumpus, Virginia, to be here for this event.
Well, I think that's the neat thing about this event is the pros skiing right along with the amateurs, and obviously the extracurricular activities, if you will, with the golf and the skeet shooting. It sort of, brings a bit of a different magic to this event, and obviously you get to be at this beautiful facility here. Yeah, it's magic in itself.
I'm looking forward to seeing you shoot.
Yeah, well, I can shoot. Yeah, not very well.
Yeah, the very well part is the kind of important one. But I mean, I tried my hand a little bit of shooting, and I discovered I shoot left-handed.
Oh yeah, well you got to figure out which eye you use as well. Yeah, yeah.
All right then. So moving that to one side, we've got Amelia Vaughn, and she's going to come in at 22 off the standard 70-foot line. So from one extreme to closer to the other, I would say. Yeah, it's 16 meters for those of you from beyond these shores, and I believe that boat speed is going to be at 34 miles an hour.
So those of you that may have attended it, Amelia and her hubby Corey run a bed and breakfast up in Bumpus, Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's a great little getaway. If you're in the area, you should check it out.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of thinking of heading on up there if my travels take me to the Beltway area of DC and those and that area of the country. I mean, so much history encapsulated within that area of the country. But looking at Amelia Vaughn, I mean, what do you see here? I mean, is there something you think she can improve upon, or is this just a 22 off warm up for her?
Well, as anyone would be, a little bit nervous on the opening pass. You see she hit the wake there a little bit solid, as we would say. So they'll shorten her up here, and she's down there sort of gathering her thoughts, taking some deep breaths, going, okay, let's just relax and sort of get the same look that she had there on the gates in one, but just be a little bit more sort of in flow with the ski.
Yes, indeed. She actually started at 32 miles an hour on the 22 off. That's using sub maximum to go there. So she's going to come back at 22 off, but the boat speed is going to be raised up to 34. And let's see what she's got. Amelia Vaughn. Now, setting herself up for the gate. Now, a little bit narrow there, Wade.
Yeah, she was. Certainly for the it was my error on the boat speed initially, but yeah, for a 34 pass, she would have liked to have a little bit more width on that gate, but she was able to manage it, and now they'll be shortened up to 14 meters.
Yep, 14.
Wonder if she'll be looking up for Corey for a little. Hey, help me out here.
Yeah, you have to think a little bit on that one to go from 28 off to 14 meters, you know. So we try and make sure that every single one of our audience understands exactly what line length they're on, whether you like metric, whether you like feet and inches. It's right there. It's the same thing, 14.25 meters. And I mentioned the gate with Amelia because that kind of sets into a chain of events, a kind of philosophy as to what you do inside the course. Because if you pull out and you're narrow, you're more concerned about controlling your speed rather than trying to control your width and trying to backside these turns.
Yeah, well, it's a balance. There's no doubt. We're ultimately looking for the optimum speed and the optimum width.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because if we go too much or too little, then we're sort of on the outside of the bell curve, if you will.
All right, and let's see if she can pull out a little. Oh yeah, this is definitely a lot wider now. Now she's starting to get into it. And I tell you what, Amelia Vaughn, I beg your pardon, is looking in very, very good shape. She's improved her skiing quite a bunch in the last few months, and using that time very, very well indeed. It seems it's a 6-buoy count at 14.
Yeah, no, that was nice. So we've had both of the first two ladies off the dock, as the pros would say, they're going down and back a couple times.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what the skiers later, you know, they want their nerves to settle, and when they see this, you know, the second skier off the dock, Amelia, just rip through a 28 like that, they're going, okay, my nerves are starting to settle.
Okay, and I could definitely see coming off number 1. Now the same thing is going to come off number 3. She's definitely very, very strong in her core. She can hold that angle coming off her 135 side, and that really, really helps her out, especially on that offside turn.
Well, she's got the typical slalom skier's body. Lean muscle mass. Almost looks like a swimmer.
Well, here we go. We've got we're on dockside now, and Who do we see? It looks like we see Mary Koenig getting ready to ski herself. She is our next competitor out. How soon will she get to ski? Well, one person can answer that. This is Amelia Vaughn. Oh, and
Yeah, I think, Tony, you'd pointed out early on her initial 2 passes, she was a little narrow on her gate, and she got a little bit more width maybe at 28. Here we're at 32. It looked like the same, maybe just a whisker narrow.
she got really sideways.
Yeah, you could see exactly, Tony, when she was just skiing by the right-hand gate. You could see we call that getting separated, meaning she's losing the rope away from her body, and that's going to result in a extremely narrow approach at 1.
Yeah, it looks like she kind of squatted down a little bit because as the ski rolled around and as she started to accelerate, she kind of felt it get out from underneath her, and she had to squat down and like play defense a little bit coming into number 1.
Well, that's it, Tony. So once a skier gets on their heels, then we essentially are playing defense. The offense sort of goes away. So interesting. We just saw as the boat was coming back on Amelia's 4th pass, we could see Miss Mary's house in the background. If you guys have ever been here, if you're watching at home, there are some lots available for sale here. This is a gorgeous place to hang out, to walk your dogs, ride around in your golf cart, and socialize as you watch pros from around the world. You watch amateurs from around the world, such as we're seeing today. And Ron and her husband Mary ran a water sports business up in the Midwest and then retired and moved down here to Sunset Lakes.
All right, coming in at 32 miles an hour at 15 off. This is Mary Koenig. Now, Mary Koenig is women's 5, which means that this is maximum speed for her. This is 32 miles an hour.
Yeah, they've changed the rules immensely, Tony, since we were in our younger days. They've changed the divisions around, and they've certainly aided the skier's sake. And yeah, we've got some slower miles an hour than we used to have.
Yeah, I think it would be a little bit unfair to like send like women 6, 7, and 8 into the slalom course going at 34 miles
Well,
an
the
hour.
same. As soon as I was 12 years old, and as soon as nationals were over, my official speed became 36 or 58 kilometers. I mean, you weigh 100 pounds dripping wet, and 36 mile an hour, 58 K is really, really fast. I mean, now I think that you can be as late as 15 years old now going up to that speed.
I remember 100 pounds dripping wet. It's so long ago.
Well, so Mary's hubby, as I'd said, they moved down and retired. He couldn't handle the retirement life, so he bought a Jimmy John's and probably be supplying lunch for us today.
They're freaky fast, don't you know? And, well, not coming into the course freaky fast, so to speak, 32 miles an hour, 16 meters is Mary Koenig.
We're actually sitting under a Jimmy John's tent. Thanks, Ron, for the shade.
All right, yes, indeed. Let's have a look and see. This is Mary Koenig. Nice number 1, although didn't really follow through completely with her hips and got separated a little bit, like there, into buoy number 4. But she is high enough up on the course and has enough room to spare.
Well, Mary's competed on the U.S. national team numerous times at Pan Americans and World Championships. So, you know, to say she's a seasoned veteran, you know, that's she's showing her sort of wiliness, if you will. She managed this in the middle of the course very well. She knew she had a good enough start to make it, and she'd made this pass so many times before, and with all the competition she's been in, she's like, okay, Mary, just chill out. You've only got a few buoys left, and we'll get to shorten it up.
Yes, indeed, and employing a little bit of what you call a little bit of a safety check on a couple of occasions. Now we've had comments come through in recent times and on the water ski forums, there's actually a forum a title. It says safety check. in reference to what you're saying. So remind our good folks what that is and how it deploys in slalom.
Well, we talked about Mary being an experienced slalom skier, and that means she's using her visual base, same as a quarterback would in football. She sees how much space she has, so when she makes the turn, instead of taking a very aggressive line, like right there at one, when she was gifted that from a good gate, and she's rolling through this pretty nice. Little bit of a safety check, just what we're discussing there at 4, and unfortunately she was too far down course out of 4. But back to the safety check, it's basically the skier admitting things aren't perfect, but they want to finish the turn with the handle in their hand. Does that make sense?
That does make sense. That
because if
that
you're,
makes a lot of sense.
As soon as you're no longer a skier but a swimmer, you have no chance to get the next buoy. But as long as we're on the ski and got the handle on our hand, if we've got enough space, we can get to the next buoy.
And that's especially true when you have a specific target that you're skiing for in order to advance or to get a personal best or that kind of thing.
Shoot, certainly for a state, regional, national, world record, any of those where you've got that, like we'll see the pros today and tomorrow, they're trying to make a specific cut. So like in golf, it's a 70. We've seen over the last few men's events, it's pretty much 2 or 3 at 41 to make that cut, as we say.
Now, from one skier who is seasoned at the world level and a Pan American level to another. We got Brenda Nichols taking to water next, and she is skiing in Masters Women. Now, in Masters Women, it does mandate that the maximum boat speed, irrespective of your age, because the age is taken out of the equation in Masters Women, is 34 miles an hour, 55K.
Right. She's basically skiing in the open division of the seniors, of the age 35 and above. Then this Masters Women, that's exactly what it is. They are the masters of the sport. So she is a former world record holder in jump, and she's competed for the USA Water Ski elite team, the best of the best. So yeah, for her to go down and ski at a full amateur level would be sort of maybe not so fair to the real amateurs, because she's a former pro, hence the Masters Women.
Now, the major difference is with Masters Men, Masters Women, is whereas Masters Men reduce their boat speed to 34 miles an hour, the Masters Women stay with the max speed of 34.
That's interesting, Tony.
Mm-hmm. And you were actually at the same venue where Brenda Nichols actually got her world jump title, 1995 in Rockbridge.
I was going to say 95 Worlds. Yeah. Yeah, no, she was just in her day. She had a couple 3-year run where she was extremely dominant in the women's jump event, and then because you can tell she's a really, really decent slalom skier and a decent tricker as well. That's where she was an overall threat and really helped the U.S. team with their points.
Yes, indeed, and she was actually a last-minute replacement for a skier who had actually qualified to ski in that team in the 95 Worlds in Rockbridge. Do you know who that skier
Scott
is?
Ellis. Yeah, he's here on site.
On the money.
Yeah, he got hurt at Indianapolis. It was an unfortunate jump crash.
Yeah.
And so Brenda's daughters are both national champs, will become actually her older daughter is already a junior masters champ. We're talking about Brooke Baldwin and Kristen Baldwin.
Mm-hmm.
Both compete on the U.S. junior water ski teams.
Yes, indeed. And Brenda Nichols looking pretty good out there, although she does have her right knee under heavy support there with that knee brace.
Well, Tony, we talked about her jumping. There's not many jumpers that are walking around without a bum knee,
Without a missing ligament or two.
Yeah, it's kind of like a slalom skier with a bad back. It sort of goes with the territory.
Nicely done. She's through 16 of 14.25 meters and looking very, very strong in each case, Look at that. Yeah, making sure that the lower part of her torso is very far forward, just to get that stack going behind the boat so that her position doesn't degrade between one buoy and the other.
Yeah, that was an awesome gate shot. I say to my students, use all the space that's given. And you could see just how close she got. Her front ankle was to that right-hand gate ball, and then how much angle she had as well. That's meaning she's going to have a nice wide approach into ball one, which is what we're after.
Very, very similar slalom style to a one Lucky Low, who really, really forced his back forwards and strained out his legs and just went for every little bit of leverage you can get. Not so much angulation, more leverage than anything else. Here we go. This is Brenda Nichols. This is at 32 off. Nice line control there as well, but a little narrow on 2. But she's good to go around number 3. I like that number 4. They checked up on 4.
Yeah,
yes.
no, you could see that, Tony. Exactly. She basically ripped 1, had plenty of space out of 2. 2 and 3, she managed well, and then she got to 4 and says, well, the last thing I want to do in the world is fall right here, or pushing the ski and blow the tail out, bury the tip by being over anxious. So she just used her forward speed and momentum, allow the ski to finish its turn, and then voila, as the French say.
Yes, indeed. And for those of you that are watching competitive water skiing for the first time in many, many years, I mean, I'm sure there are folks out there that remember the days of the Maharajas and the EPs and the taper flexes, you just have to crack the living snot out of to get across course. Skis nowadays designed more to be turned a lot easier. The skis turn more naturally, and then it's up to you to determine how much angle you're going to take off the end of that turn.
You're exactly right. She used her weapon, her ski, really, really well on the start of that. We'll see how she uses it here at 35. She managed a 32 really, really well.
Good aggressive start. This is 35 off. This is 12 meters.
Yeah, you could tell. Yeah, some was. She went into panic mode early on the backside of 1 there, which was seeing her line of sight wasn't good. But going back to the skis, Tony, the skis ride so much lighter in the water, higher in the water, if you will. The boats are stronger, much stronger than they used to be.
They have to turn less revs.
So instead of the skier having to produce a high wattage or this massive amounts of strength, the modern game is to try to ride your ski as light as possible and not put a massive amount of load on the rope.
Efficiency in motion is what you would call it as well.
No, that's it exactly. Less is more, and if you mentioned Lucky, strength is an asset, and we would certainly all like to be as strong as Will Asher, but geez, if we can get the ski around and use the product that we're riding, and then we use the boat, the line, the zero off, it is so much easier on our body.
All right, now we go to a boys 5 skier. This is Connor Pauley. He's going to go in at 60 meters, 58K. Oh, nicely done off buoy number 1. And you see, he's turning to a precise position, and then he goes with it. He's not trying to move too much behind the boat. He skis to a point, holds it, and then stays stable.
Well, you talked about the product with Brenda. You can see Connor's using his basically to the max. You see just how much his ski turns at ball 1 and at ball 2, and that's exactly the name of the game. Is the longer the ski turns, the better our body position is going to be.
Like that.
And we're going to eventually finish in a stacked position. Any detrimental movement that we are making, any dysfunctional movement, is going to hinder our ability to get back to that stacked position. And you can see by the time he came out of 2, they're at 4, little bit of a tug from the boat. but it's almost as if you can see there at 5, he's right on the borderline of overturning, which means he's using his weapon of choice really, really well.
Yeah, and when you get to that point, then it comes down to how much strength that you have and how much poise you have. Let's have a look at this. Is at 28 off. We are at max boat speed for boys 5. One of those 2 new divisions that were created for the most recent national championships that we saw over in Zachary in Louisiana. And there we go. That's 6 at 28 off. Made it look easier than the first.
That was nice. He managed that really well. He got a lot of space on his gate out to 1, and then you could see his turns at 1 and 2 are really tight to the back of the buoy. And then he just went right into course management on 3 and 4, just same as we talked about Brenda. Hey, let's make sure and not end up as a swimmer. Let's stay a skier.
There you go. Look, see right there. Look at that. Little stiff in the knees into 2, 4, and 6, though. I mean, he's going to have to watch out for that on 30 meters the next pass.
Well,
like that.
We would rather keep a taller posture if possible, but you saw off ball 4, he compressed a little bit with his knees. It's sort of going old school, if you will. It's a nice weapon to have if you can, because you saw him at 1 and 2. He was upright, keeping in his stacked position, but as soon as he needed that extra knee bend, he used it.
All right, let's see what he can do here. This is at 32 off. This is where it starts to get really, really difficult with controlling and managing that speed and managing those turns. And not bad. The handle control, it looks pretty good now.
No, that was a nice pass. You could see, once again, just really, really strong heel side. He's a left-foot forward skier, so I'm calling his 1-3-5 turns his heel side as if he's a surfer or a snowboarder.
Okay.
And you can just see
there's his heel side.
Right there, exactly.
Ooh.
And he even was able to hesitate and just wait on the rope momentarily. Same there at 2 ball. He has so much angle, and he's so early that he's actually able to wait on the rope. Ooh. And there we saw at 3, he used a little bit of knee compression because he had so much load so early. Then he's like, I don't need all of this load. Let's give a little bit back to the boat, meaning his IQ and his awareness are really, really good. He's on top of his game today.
And what he is doing by using that knee compression is he's made sure that using the arms to take the slack out of the line is not going to be necessary. He's actually using the lower half of his body, which he can control better.
Well, there's we talked about his awareness. He knew he had tight rope and his arms are straight, so the logical spot would be his knees to give way. Yes, similar to Brenda, they both ran a really strong 13-meter pass, and they both had a similar experience as far as not being able to create the course width from the right-hand gate out to 1.
Now, the judges are calling 1.5 on this. Let's see. Let's make sure. Oh, got broken over off the waist on number.
Yeah, you can see he had a lot of slack at the back of 1, which meant on his way out to 1, he didn't have enough space to sort of get slack before the buoy, if you will. That's when we want a relief from the tight rope so the ski can make its arc and come back. But if we don't have enough space and the rope remains tight, then we'll make our turn and then all of the slack comes at the back of the buoy instead of at the front.
Yeah, let's have a look again. Ooh, that's close.
Yeah, we got some great camera work there, guys. I mean, I'm thinking
this is what makes me nervous. That line, you saw that that instance with Brooke Baldwin a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, I sure did. That's we would certainly like the skier to be able to get that rope away from him as quickly as they can.
All right, our next skier up is Brett Swanborn.
Brett's local. He's from the Tampa area. Actually skis right here at Sunset Lakes a bit.
There you go. quite a tall figure, which is going to help him out a little bit down the line, but he needs to get down the...
Oh, that's a bummer, Tony. I could tell there on his start, he didn't give himself very much space in the beginning, so he was sort of trying to maintain, an uphill battle, no more, no less.
And that was at 32 miles an hour on 15 off, It didn't look as if he was necessarily in rhythm right from the get-go, although having said that, he got the angle off number one, but then he just shut it down too soon.
Yeah, through his gate out the one, he was already, I think Brett maybe experienced some nerves. We talked about that with the earlier ladies. When you got Chris Parrish and Will Asher and Fred Winter standing around the dock, he can, sort of get into the pit of your stomach a bit.
No, sometimes this is one of the reasons why you would ditch 18.25 meters and go on to 16 meters and try that for your first pass, because 18.25 meters in a lot of people's minds is way too much rope to really effectively ski the way that you're really aiming or aspiring to.
Well, and you talked about him. He started at 32 mile an hour or 52 kilometers. So I would say to him as well, hey, you may want to think about going back to 30 mile an hour or 49K to give yourself we talked about the first two ladies of the day that they went down and back a couple times. That's what we want to be able to do. We want to be able to have our first pass for those of you at home. If you're thinking about going to a tournament or you've had this, you want to make sure you can really run 3 into your fourth pass. You will guarantee yourself a couple down and backs to shake the nerves off.
And another tactic to possibly use is maybe the zero base scoring, where he could actually go on 16 meters and try that at 30 miles an hour, possibly.
Sure, absolutely. If you're unaware of some of these changes, if you're sort of an old schooler like Tony and I, and you're coming back to our sport, there are a lot of things that we changed. We already talked about the mile an hour change. But as Tony just mentioned, the skier is able to go out at a shorter rope length and also a slower boat speed.
And that's exactly what happened here, because Eric Splater went in at 49K, 30 miles an hour on the shortened line length for 16 meters. So he is a skier who employs the zero-base scoring. Now, the next time we see a shorter line length from him, because Eric Splater is a boys 4, that's going to be a 34 miles an hour or 55K. And this is at 49. This is at 49, so he's still got a couple more passes to clear before we see him go back at 28 off.
Well, it's almost like he read what we were talking about or heard.
Script,
because no, exactly, because this is a great example for those of you guys at home. I had a couple juniors a couple years ago come to me and go, Coach, can we? They were 58K skiers, 36, and they wanted to start at 14 meters, 28 off at 32 mile an hour. And so they would go down 32, come back 34, and now their third pass was 28 off 36, which they didn't want anything to do with, like you mentioned, 18 meters at 58K. That's a really, really challenging pass.
Yes, indeed. And line control, definitely an important element. But if you have too much line for you to comfortably work with, then maybe you should try the zero-base scoring approach and go in on a shorter line with a lower speed. But
well, if you do that, what you're going to find is as soon as you go to a shorter rope, it's going to seem like the buoys are further out. Well, the rope is shorter. So what we just saw our skier there do, watch him through the gates and watch him leaving ball 1 going to 2. Watch how he stays against the rope. That top hand stayed on the handle. And then watch again here at the second wake, he keeps all of his outbound direction going towards the shoreline, guaranteeing he's going to have enough width for his ski to make the arc that it needs to make.
Absolutely. Looking in good shape, skiing to a certain point. And not looking bad, He's...
I'm off too.
Okay, so just to confirm, this is 55K at 16 meters. 55K at 16 meters. We're still on the 16-meter line. 22 off, yes, indeed. So now, if he clears this, he would actually go on to the next speed,
which will be full speed.
Full speed, yeah.
36 mile an hour, 58K. Nice
yeah,
pass.
So yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. He's utilizing the new rule, of using zero-base scoring. Going through the first 3 passes, 49, 52, and 55K, and gaining confidence with each one. Wade.
No, he looks good. He right here, backside at 1. That was
look at
really,
that angle.
really good. Look at all the space there too, and then tipped down at 2, moved in it, and you could see he wasn't in a hurry to get his hand back on the handle. He was, watch his trail hand. He just moves back in tempo with the ski and with the hips.
Yes, indeed. I used to remember, but way back in the day, and you probably remember her too, Christy Overton Johnson. She would backside the heck out of 22 off and 28 off, like knowing nothing.
Well, that's that was sort of the evolvement. Christy and I both watched Andy Mapple, and we got to watch him a lot from the boat even, and you saw he was running a different line than anyone had previously run. So that was sort of the mission that Christy and I had, was that he was running the line, and that was it.
What happened there?
Yeah, that's a bummer. It seems that what we don't have, Tony, we don't have any sun glare, we don't have any wind, but all the skiers seem to be having a little bit of trouble with that entry down there. You could see he was already really narrow at the right-hand gate going out to 1, and he's wishing he had that to do over again. But the amateurs do have an additional round today, and then a third round.
Ooh.
Yeah, he was late, Tony.
Yeah,
he was really
late on his back heel, and
he just simply pulled out for the gates.
He just couldn't get stacked, and he got 1.25 for that. 1.25 at 14.25 meters, or 28 off. So they shortened the line after 55K. So obviously for boys 4, just as a reminder, there the max boat speed is 55K. Right, now we're into international boys, and we've got Martin Labra from Chile. All right, so Martin Labra, who's coming in at 58K, 16 meters. Now, a lot of other countries across the world haven't brought on board the zero-base scoring system. So Martin Labra, 16 meters at full speed, what he's used to starting in on in his native Chile. And I tell you what, a 22 off at 58K, making that pass look ultra smooth. So there we go. That is a great looking run. Thanks a lot to our viewers that are watching in their masses. We thank you once again. And I hope you're enjoying what you're seeing out there in the water. You see Martin Labra. I'm sure he's got some folks over in his native Chile, in Santiago, looking at this deal here. Oh, I like that. Looking good, looking very, very strong. And for those of you that want to check out our Instagram presence, you can find that at Waterski Broadcasting. Waterski Broadcasting. You'll find that on Instagram, and you'll also find our other social media presences, on Facebook, on Twitter, and indeed YouTube, which is where the majority of you are watching this right now and seeing Martin Labra come back in on 14.25 meters, looking really, really steady. Hardly a breath of wind out there to really work against, or with, for that matter. And there you go, Martin Labra, and that is 14.25 meters. Our best scorer so far is by Connor Pauly with 1.5 on the 12-meter line at 58K. So, there is Martin Labra. Like his style out there. Looks like one or two fans from Chile have joined into the conversation. We'll keep an eye on that. All right then, folks, here we go. Martin Labra. This is now 30 meters, the green loop. This is where the skier has to get wider up alongside the boat. Not quite perpendicular, mind you, but needs to be able to control that speed and control that width. Some good skiing there from Martin Labra as we get ready for his 12-meter line. All right, so looking Martin Labra. He's cleared 16 meters, 14 meters, and now 30 meters. Yeah, just holding his angle, just holding his direction away from the boat, just keeping that angle and flow. Coming back at 12 meters, Martin Labra. And one of our viewers, Bridget Murphy, thanks a lot for watching. Can't get better conditions. Not a true word being said here in respect to what you're seeing on top of the water. This is Martin Labra, and this is 12 meters. Gets a good start, a little barreled over the tip of the ski. Looking in good. Oh, on the back of the ski now, really having to fight his way on this one. Convinced that he made a sufficient enough play on buoy number 4 to actually score a piece of that buoy. And I believe he did. He got 3.5 on 12 meters. We're going to take a look at this instant replay and see where it goes, all pear-shaped for him. Round buoy number 2. At this point, the first third of the course, he looked okay, but then he just rocked onto the back of the ski, and whenever you do that, you lose quite a bit of your angle. But he did make enough of a play on buoy number 4 to get a fraction of that buoy, and the ski being... and the skis stopping between buoy 4 and the wakes to come afterwards means that he gets 3.5. So that is 3.5. It's 3.5 on 12 meters, or 3.5 at 35 off. For those of you that are not quite in tune with the metric system, 3.5 at 35 off, and that is Martin Labra. All right, boys 3, Zach Barkwell. We'll get confirmation on his... This is 15 off. We'll get confirmation of his opening pass speed, and the line length has been confirmed at 18.25 meters, or 15 off. Sounds like 52K 18. We'll get a full confirmation of that with the radio communication prior to the next pass. Coming back at 55K, yes indeed. So here we go. This is Zach Barkwell. Getting a little bit off balance there in through the entrance gates. Going cross course. All right, then. We got Zach Barkwell approaching the course now. This is going to be at 55K. Oh, getting a little bit elevated off the wakes there. Wow. Now he's gotten into a rhythm, not a particularly good one, mind you, but he gets around buoy number 6 and not looking bad. And that is Zach Barkwell, and that is at 55K, 18.25 meters, as he is boys 3. That's the maximum speed, and he'll shorten to 16 meters. And my good friend from the years, Mr. Tricky Ricky McCormick, is here. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing good, Tony. How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing pretty good. Now, your son, we got to talk about how he has absolutely improved beyond most metric measures. You know, in slalom skiing this season, hilltop and the other competition that took place a couple of weeks ago. But I tell you what, he is on fire right now. What's been the secret sauce?
Well, it's age, it's training, and a method that he's got right now that's working with him, and that's trying to work on one thing at a time rather than the overall view.
All right, let's have a look and see what Zach Barkwell can do. Let's see if he can employ some of that here. Whoa, a little narrow and a little bit behind on buoy number 2. That ski's bouncing around all over the show. Look at this. Whoa, look at this. I don't know what ski setup he has, but I think it needs to be addressed.
Definitely using some knee action there. You see that ski just flying in the air, tip high. It looks like he's done it before to get himself there.
Yeah, indeed. It kind of looks like, he's so preoccupied with slowing down that ski that he's trying to make a play on the edge change. He's thinking about the edge change behind the boat.
Right. He's not getting his body close enough to the handle, to where you can pivot around the handle. It's like snow skiing where you set your poles. You've got to get your hands in a position so that your body can move around your hands, let that ski cast out. And you usually see him coming through the wake, that handle's getting away, and that's what's launching him.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it looks like the tip of the ski was almost even with his eyebrows.
Okay, so that was 16 meters. Now, you would halfway expect the ski to actually do that because present in all boats is that 16 meter, 22 off hump. Now he's past that point, 14.25 meters. He shouldn't have any problems from the wake itself launching him. It's just a case that he's got to control it naturally.
That's right. He'll hold a stronger edge, or he should hold a stronger edge.
There you go. That's it.
You can see him coming through the wakes a lot smoother now.
That's it.
He's in this pass really good.
That's it.
Be able to run it.
I like it. I like the adjustment he's made. Now, is this good enough for 6? Oh! I'm sure he...
A little bit of trouble when he went into 5. It's put too strong of an edge coming into 5. Got a little narrow, and it caught up with him really quick. And that's what happens when the rope gets shorter, Tony.
Yeah.
It starts pulling you narrower and narrower.
Absolutely. But he made some adjustments that kept that ski closer to the water as he crossed the back of the boat. So, wow.
That's a real scary fall that he's
that is. But I mean, what's even scarier is, look at this coming into buoy. Ooh.
Yep.
Yeah. He made a play on it. He made enough of a play on it to actually get the full 5 count. Now look at this coming to buoy number 6, perfect angled. Try to make the play on it and didn't quite get it. And the way that he fell, that kind of reminded me of that crash a couple of weeks ago that scared everybody.
Yeah. So I mean, a lot calmer through the wakes this time, which let him, look like a really good style, that he's got going. But you see his hands moving up and down. They're not focused in one place, and that all changes his balance and makes it more difficult for him to keep that solid pull against the boat.
All right, let's have a look at Nicola Barkwell at 49K. This is 30 miles an hour. There you go. Not bad. At 49K, this should be not confident enough with an angle going across course off 135 to set that ski into an edge and cast out and go backside.
Right, a little more concerned about the turn at the buoy
and the
rather
speed
than trying to hold what you make in that turn and hold it strong all the way through the boat.
Yeah, you're going to see a perfect illustration of that coming off buoy number 1 right here.
Up
Look
there,
at this.
so you're,
There.
you're standing up a little bit before
And
you
going
got to the
flat.
wake. Yeah.
Yeah, if you go flat for a split second, then that is...
It focuses your pull and everything, and it starts running it down course and not skiing across course.
Yeah, indeed. Maybe a sign of nerves. I'm not too sure. Maybe she'll come through on the second pass with a lot more confidence and energy in making that proper edge change and allowing that ski to backside. But then again, it is 18.25 meters or 15 off, which means you've got an awful lot of line to work with.
That's right, and the longer the line, the harder it is to make that pull.
Yeah.
You know, it wants to stand you up. It doesn't want. It's not easy to keep your shoulder down, keep that ski between you and the boat, and really keep a good pull going.
All right then, a beautiful view of our driver in that Nautica towboat. 450 horsepower with that 6.2 liter engine. Look at that. Round buoy number 1.
Okay, shorter rope. She's got a little bit better style going for her. She's holding that edge better through the wakes. You see her make nice turns, and she's holding that force. That was a real nice one then.
Well, I think that boat speed was actually a 52k, a little faster as a matter of fact. But yeah, she.
So they.
Maybe that first pass was just a whole confidence thing, just shake off the nerves, you know, and just...
Right, and then maybe that's why she didn't want to get in too deep, because it may made her get too wide and make her feel uncomfortable and miss that pass. And it should be noted as a warm-up pass, something that kind of gives you the feel of the water. Hey, wake up my body and let's get going and let's start skiing right.
Yes, indeed. And for those of you that are listening in or watching in, my name is Tony Lightfoot. Sitting next to me is the legendary Hall of Famer himself, Mr. Ricky McCormick. And you know, if you have a question or two a burning question that you want to ask the Hall of Famer who is sitting right next to me, make sure you throw a comment or two, and I will be more than happy to pass it to Mr. McCormick. All right, let's have a look and see.
Yeah, we got some great skiers coming up. You know, a lot of these skiers are newcomers, Tony. They're only 2, 3, maybe 4 years, you know, been running in a course.
Yeah.
So as we see this progress, you'll see skiers that have been skiing for the last 15 years, and it makes a big difference.
Yeah, indeed. You know, you've experienced most of everything that you could possibly encounter on a slalom ski. You know, and you know, in the roughest of conditions, the smoothest of conditions, as you see here. And there you go. That is at 55k, and she's run through that pass, and she'll now get an opportunity in Girls 4 to shorten down to the 16-meter line.
Okay, a little more aggressive type skier. You can see her dig in and try to hold that position through the wakes that we were talking about. And, you know, I think she'll run a good pass coming up here.
No, I think she realized on pass number 2, coming back at 52k, that, you know, she probably made a self-assessment like saying, that was a good pass, but it wasn't great.
That's all that is wake-up calls for you. It's what do I have to do in the next pass? They know the rope's going to be a little shorter or the speed's going to get faster, and how can I make these corrections and run this next pass?
And one thing I saw off that buoy number 3 was she started to press down with her leverage with her legs, and then she decided, okay, let's suck the knees up a little bit and try and get a little bit more natural angle off that ski to stay on top of the course. Rather than employ muscle, let's employ a little bit of finesse.
That's right. It's hard to get that finesse. I mean, you know, we got great conditions today. The wind's hardly blowing at all. So there's nothing that's going to be jittering the ski to help them get thrown off balance prior to the turns. So they should get locked in good and get good hard pulls.
All right, 16 meters it is, 55k. A little narrow on the gates. But still, whoa, a little narrow into buoy number 3. Now she's going to have to work. She's going to have to work this one out. She could still run it. She could still run it if she piles the pressure on for 6. Yeah. All right.
Hey, a big wake-up call. You know, Tony, you said it right. You know, when you start off the course and you don't, you know, if you're narrow when you start that gate, it catches you all the way through the course.
Right here, let's take a look at this. Let's go frame by frame on this one if we can. Look, you see she turns and then because the ski is still riding flat into the first phase of her pre-turn, that speed is just taken further and further down course, and no chance of making any serious width.
You know, big engines in the Nautiques, they want to pull you right on down course, and it's a tug of war. To keep that tug of war going, you've got to keep tension on the rope. The rope should never go slack, and you don't give to the boat. You let yourself pivot around the handle, out, make your turn, and get back into a nice pull again.
And that goes into another breakaway conversation about the settings for zero off as well. I mean, we could go on for hours. And
right. I mean, there's three letter settings. And then there's three sub number settings under each of those letters.
And the plus as well.
Correct.
All right. So here we go. This is 28 off. Now she's really going to have to muscle this one out. It's going to be 1, and that is it. So it's going to be 1 at 14.25 meters to round off our first group of amateurs. Before we go into the second group, we'll take a look at Nicola Barkwell. Yeah, just getting separated off buoy number 1, and she couldn't really make a decent play on.
That's right, and you know, a lot of beginners that I teach, I always tell them it's like being in a swing. If you try to pull on the chains and make your swing, get greater too soon, it's effortless. It's right at the pivot point, right when you get to the wakes or at the bottom of the swing, that you would pull on the chains, and then all of a sudden you would gain some momentum. You would gain width, like in a slalom course, it gets you wider out to the buoy, and you can adjust that according to what your actually stance or your style is.
Yes, indeed, and good skiing up to a certain point. You know, I think she was in personal best territory anyway, so I mean, it's a fair play to Nicola Barkwell for making it that far. I'm Tony Lightfoot. He is Ricky McCormick, and we are pleased to have you on board. Our next skier up is going to be Vincent Stadelbauer, who comes to us all the way from Switzerland, but is really truly native to these parts. This area comes to us out of Claremont in Florida.
Right, and Vince is doing a lot of the video work here, so he's taking a little bit of a holiday just for about 10 or 15 minutes here to go out here and do a little bit of skiing.
Yes, indeed, like that 2-minute vacation that is a Snickers bar, you know.
But he has a lot of neat ideas that he's doing with the skiers. He's got, heart monitors that he puts on the skiers.
Oh yeah.
The tensionometer that goes in the boat to tell you, help you see how hard these skiers are pulling. A tensionometer to tell the amount of pull that the skier is exerting on the rope in the boat.
And I appreciate you mentioning that, because there is a special prize on offer to the skier that produces the best ratio this time around. We're not going with absolute strength behind the boat, but for this competition, it's ratio, it's body, it's that amount of tension on the toe line in its relation to your body weight.
Right, and Freddie Winter had been walking away with it the other way, so this might change it up a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. Now we've got Vincent Stadelbauer. 14.25 meters. 14.25 meters for Vincent Stadelbauer. Not only will the winner of the pull tension contest based upon body weight to tension ratio get $500, but he, or possibly she, will get a HO Syndicate slalom line as well.
Right, and Tony, there's 3 guys in the family that are all competition water skiers. Their dad actually skied when I did, back, kind of dating myself here.
Actually, 4 members, because Valerie Bodoni.
Yep.
Skied internationally as well.
It's in the family. They've been around the sport a lot, and they enjoy it immensely.
Yes, indeed. So let's have a look and take a look at Vincent Stadelbauer. He has a rather unusual 2-4-6 side turn. He's left foot forward.
Right, you look at this stance coming this way, it looks like he's sitting back just a little bit, maybe a little bit on his heels, and not centered over the ski a little bit. keeps the handling good. We talked
Yeah,
talked
it
about
does.
that earlier, and his arms are in. You see him bent as he comes to the buoy, and then he extends out to get around the buoy, and that sets the ski up for the turn.
Yeah, what kind of gets me a little bit with Vincent Stadelbauer is the fact that whenever he goes into his 2-4-6 side, his offside turn, he is well over the tip of his ski. It's like he's already broken over. So by the time he gets to like a 12 meters or 11.25 meters, if he continues going that way, that line is going to kick in, and it's going to really, really forcefully insert its wool upon your skin.
Right. If he's not smooth, making the hook up or when the pull comes, it can either pull you to your tail or it's making you start to fall back to your heels.
And the first pass that we will start to see this in earnest is at 32 off. He allows the ski to come up underneath him on that number 2. A little bit down course off number 4, but he's good to go at 32 off. And that is Vincent Stadelbauer. I like what he's doing right now.
Yeah, in general, there was a lot better pass. He looked
Oh,
a
yeah.
lot smoother. You could see him moving, over the ski, keeping himself centered, and his arms not tucked in quite as much as he did on that first pass.
Yes, indeed. And I mean, I tell you, Vincent Stadelbauer on that opening pass probably wanted to just check things out a little bit, just to see where he was and just test his tolerance levels on what that ski can do if push comes to shove. How much he's got behind that boat when push comes to shove.
Right. Every day's a new day, Tony. And we both know that when we've gone out and skied before, you think you know all the answers, but it feels different each time.
All right, then. We're going to take a quick look at the dock. All right, it's going to be 12 meters now for Vincent Stadelbauer. 12 meters, Vincent Stadelbauer. Let's see what kind of start he gets. He's normally been pretty consistent on 12 meters. Not with a number 1 like that, but I tell you what, he recovered well off number 2. Look at him go. Beautiful conditions here at Sunset Lakes, and utilizing them all the way to get round all 6 buoys on 12 meters. Not bad there for Vincent.
That's right. And, 35 off, I mean, he has an extra 3 feet of reach. If you bring the handle out to the buoy, it's just a little bit to the outside, so the body lean and all that helps him get out around the buoy.
All right, so we're just taking a look at this, and once again, yeah, just a little on the tail there, but he didn't panic. That was the thing. That's what experience gives you the ability to do. Not panic. There, right there.
A lot of cat-like instincts as you see him moving and center himself right over his feet with that pull and getting that hook up, and it's not knocking him off balance at all. Like he goes right to a strong pull out and around 6 ball.
Okay, one of our people who are commenting said, "What's the onside and offside turn?" Well, basically, everyone has a different stance on their slalom ski. Some ski on left foot forward, some ski on right foot forward, and it is that determines what side of the course your on and offside turn is. It's a bit like tennis, you would step forward with 1 foot more than the other. You would have a backhand and a forehand. It's pretty much the same thing like that. All right, then, this is 11.25 meters off, 38 off. Needs to get the start. Round buoy number 2. Oh, and got broken over into number 2, and that's what we mentioned a few passes prior. If you get broken over that soon at 38 off, that boat's going to bite back.
That's right. As he came through the wakes, and we'll see in the replay here, looks like he gets a pretty good one, but he doesn't hold it long enough, Tony. He doesn't hold the pull,
Exactly.
And he gives to the boat right there, and that made him start running down course, and it also made him a little narrow as he came into 2.
Indeed, and it's going to result in him scoring 1 1/2 buoys. 1 1/2 buoys at 38 off. That is Vincent Stadelbauer. All right, Steve Island is going to be our next competitor to go, and he will be competing also in the men's 1 category. And tell you what, I mentioned the good conditions here. Now, a guy whom I know has skied in his career in some of the worst conditions that I know, and he's sitting next to me, and I make reference to the 72 Olympics over in Kiel Harbor when water skiing was a demonstration sport.
That's right. Back then, Tony, we skied behind whatever was there, particularly the boats. They always changed from outboards to inboards. It wasn't always the boats you actually see today, but some of the water conditions were absolutely horrendous. Waves washing clear over the top of jumps. They'd have to stop the event because where you actually came onto the jump, it was actually picking up out of the water.
Man alive.
White capping to the point where you might see the buoy. When you picked it, when you saw the buoy, you came through the wake, and if you saw the buoy, you made sure you registered where it was at because it might be behind a wave by the time you got there.
Yes, indeed, and I mean, a lot of skiers complain that the buoys are too high on the slalom course. On occasion. Imagine not being able to see the buoy.
In rough water, what we skied in, we wanted them to be high because you could always see them.
Yeah, exactly. And I tell you what, here's Steve Ireland. This is at 28 off, looking strong, looking very, very smooth out there.
Now, Tony, you've explained to him about this is like a team competition, that there's members of a squad with the pro skiers.
Yes.
So the pros are up here. I mean, they're yelling and screaming and booting their guys on, and maybe that they're not skiing 38, 39 off.
No, but it's all
they're
points.
skiing against their personal best, and as they get better than their own personal best, they help the whole team.
Yes, indeed. Yes, it is a team competition. There is a handicap format involved, and there's also a pro side to this competition as well, where after the second round we'll know where the top skiers are finish and whether they finish high enough to go into a third and last round of competition to ski for the cash prize that's on offer here at the Travers Grand Prix.
I mean, cash prizes, water skis, that Syndicate ski. I mean,
shooting.
What, I mean, everybody's getting something,
Yes, indeed. All right, so Steve Ireland, that was 14.25 meters as the Nautique emerges from the other side of the island. There you go, a little open to the boat, but able to control his angle.
36 miles an hour. I mean, he looks real solid over his feet. He is a little on the tail of the ski, Tony.
Not looking too perturbed at this moment.
No, doesn't look like it's out of the ordinary for him. He feels comfortable.
And looks like Steve has got a little bit of support through our comments. Camille Tyler, thank you very much indeed for watching and supporting Steve Ireland, who I believe originally comes to us from Texas.
Okay, a little bit of difference here. You can see, as he comes in, his arm gets extended. It comes right off his hip, extends out, and his arm's straight. Where we watched with Vinny, his arm was kept in really tight, and that happens. It's not, what helps the actual skier. It's the way the ski makes you ski, and that's lets the ski go out and it come around to the point where you can stay on top of it.
Yes, indeed. And as I mentioned, he comes to us from Texas, specifically Dallas, Texas. His current home is Lake Worth in Florida. He's a financial advisor, don't you know? Don't we all need some of that
we
today?
We all need some of that today, that's for sure.
All right, then. So, a personal best of 5 on 11.25 meters off 38 off. Here we go. It's at 32 off.
Nice solid one turn.
I like this.
Really solid on his 135 side. He's a little hesitant coming out of the 2 side turn. I'm watching him from behind. I'm not actually watching the video.
Okay. And actually, that was 35 off because he went in at 14.25 meters. He's already run. He's run through 14. He's run through 13. That was at 35 off the blue loop. So he's now going to come back in at 38 off. My apologies. Former national champion slalom.
As we watch these skiers, Tony, you can tell when you see the better skier ski. You can't. It's really hard to detect which is their good and their bad side until they get in trouble. And
yes,
that's when they'll try to make up for the lost room.
Like that, right there.
Exactly. And you see he struggles a little bit here on his 2-4 side, and he's right foot forward. So that's kind of he's getting good one turns, but maybe not good enough to set him up for a suicide.
All right, so among his experiences listed that he'll never forget was making the podium with Will Asher at last year's Travers Grand Prix. So he definitely enjoys this tournament, and we'll see what he can conjure up with 38 off coming back. His personal best is 5 on this one. Now, imagine what would happen in the whole handicap scheme if he was to actually run this pass.
Right, it always helps. I think it's 2 4-sides going to be the key, how he comes in and how he gets out of 2-ball.
Okay, this is Steve Island. This is at 38 off.
Okay, looking really good.
This is good. All right, look at this. Look at this. He's still there. Going to have to take a double check on this one, because that
might see a fist pump on this one. No?
If that is 38 off, then that was probably one of the easiest ones we've seen. But we'll double check on the line length. The caption on the screen suggests 35 off, but I'm definitely convinced the. Okay, all right then. So we are Okay, so he went in at 32 miles an hour at 14.25 meters, which explains the using the zero-base scoring. So the official communications, and my apologies once again, that was 35 off. That did look a little easy.
He really
for 38.
smoothed out a lot from the earlier passes. That was you could see that's a pass that he probably.
What's happened here? I wonder.
Drills in pretty good.
Okay, all right then. So we've got Steve Island. 11.25 meters off 38 off. Our boat making its way around the drop-down buoy as we see Garrett Carver on dockside getting ready for his turn out there. And now that boat accelerates up to 58K. The line length is 11.25 meters off 38 off. Entrance gate, buoy 1, handle up high.
Yeah, little slack.
This is
Back
not the best of starts for him, but and he just throws that handle in front of him instead of skiing round to the handle. He's bringing the handle in.
Right, he
front.
snatched it in because he was a little late. He wanted to try to make up some excess room that he was losing.
Now you could see him get away with this a little bit there on number 1. He's still able to get some angle, and thankfully he was strong enough to hold that kind of angle without the easiest body positions. But take a look there. That just rattled his ski, and that's enough at 38 off to completely eliminate that pass.
Right, it's all leverage, Tony, and as he brought that handle up, he probably felt like he may have had a little bit too much speed, and he was trying to crank that turn, and it just wouldn't go.
All right, Wade Cox.
What's keeping you busy doing all these tournaments, huh? You just get home and have to take off. Yeah. So you got, Swiss Ski School in 2 weekends?
And after that, I've got the Mastercraft Pro.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, Wade. And there was Cole McCormick on dockside there. And
hey, son.
Hey. I'm glad you said it. All right, then. So Ricky McCormick, Hall of Famer. We're going to get ready for Garrett Carver, who is also a Texas native. Actually skied for the University of Louisiana at Lafayette, and I meant to make mention of that because I'm an alma mater of that fine educational institute in Cajun country. All right, whoa, here we go. 13-meter start for Garrett Carver.
Wow,
oh, he means business.
Miles an hour. He's coming out of the hole and starting with a much shorter rope.
Oh, he means business. Let's have a look and see.
Hey, right now, Tony's just trying to find his feet, and get himself secured in so that these next couple of passes will be easier for him.
That ski is moving very, very nicely indeed at 32 off for Garrett Carver. We'll take a look at that again, I would imagine.
Right, it looks like the ski a couple of times when he turned then that he wasn't quite finding where his feet were at, where he was getting a good solid pull out of the turn. So we'll watch as he goes through here.
All right.
In there. He was a little on the tail, but not bad.
Not looking bad.
Still, the hookups are nice. They're smooth, not real jerky. You can see the ski turns, and he settles into a nice pull all the way through the wakes, and then just lets the ski cast out and go around the next buoy.
All right, then. Okay, for you guys watching, we're trying to sort out some audio troubles. And once we get them situated, you should be able to hear us a little clearer, maybe a little bit louder. But yeah, we are trying to resolve that situation, especially where it concerns Wade on the dock. All right, then, as we continue rolling right along, this now is Garrett Carver, and at this early stage, we're at 12 meters on pass number 2.
Right, it's hard for me. I have to turn around and actually watch. I've always watched skiers from a starting dock, so I can actually tell more what's going on. Still nice, smooth turns on his 135 side. He's with it.
Yeah, there you go. Nice skiing. And I'm sure he appreciates the support of Tyler Boyd, who's watching in. And also Camille Tyler as well. But anyways, let's have a look at 12 meters for Garrett Carver. Took an aggressive start at 13 meters, and you know, there are a lot of schools of thought where it comes into what line length you start in or what speed you start in, whether it's out of pure fatigue, whether it's just your comfort level with starting on a pass that late. What's your take on that, Ricky?
Well, I try to tell a lot of skiers, to try to be confident, keep your hands calm, and minimize movement. A lot of times it feels like you're moving a lot because you're swinging back and forth, trying to minimize everything. And we see Garrett right then, to me, his hands are moving in and out too much and trying to row himself down through the course.
All right, here we go. This is Garrett Carver now coming in. Nice on buoy number 1. Getting it good to go around buoy number 2. Oh, this is 11.25 meters. That ski got behind him a little bit. Now he's getting really down course, and he's going to get 4 for that. 4 at 11.25 meters for Garrett Carver.
Right,
So,
you see the arms there again. I think his arms are probably getting him in trouble more than anything.
Yeah.
Pulling the handle straight in. The rope's getting just a little bit slack, and there's a hesitation. As that rope gets shorter, Tony, you don't have that time for the slack to come out. At that instant, you could already been moving to the next buoy.
Yeah, indeed. And I tell you, and I mean, a lot of people confuse working hard with working smart. And that's especially true with 11.25 meters.
That's right. You can overwork it, and instead of just trying to be calm and let things happen.
There you see, and he
just moved his way to the inside. The handle started moving away from his body, and he wasn't able to keep it sucked in to where he could keep into a lean and a pull.
All right, we're on the dock with Cole McCormick again.
Hey, thanks, Tony. Sorry about that. We had some mic issues. I'm here again with Cole McCormick, one of our young superstars in our sport, who's on quite the tear with 2 podiums recently. We got a cut from 10 to 6 from today to tomorrow. What do you think the score is going to be?
Oh, I think it's probably going to have to be a piece of 3 ball. I mean, it's Jack Travers. It's a perfect site. There's basically no wind at all today, so perfect conditions. So no excuses today. Just got to go out there and knock it out of the park.
And when you look at the list of 10, there's no names on the list that can't do it, right?
Oh yeah, no. Everyone here, I think we've got 10, but they're 10 of the best, and so I expect almost everyone to run 39 today. I mean, it's perfect.
Awesome. Tear it up, Cole.
All right, coming back down. This is at 55K, 14.25 meters, and this is for Paul. This is Paul Kulig. Try and get some more information on him.
Paul looks like he's skiing really nice. He's smooth, nice consistent pulls. He looks even on both sides from the backside as I'm watching. Nice warm-up pass.
Yeah, indeed. Not looking bad at all, as a matter of fact. Paul Kulig, 14.25 meters. Now we're into the skiers that can really shine in this particular event. He comes to us out of Jupiter in Florida, and he was originally a native of Morrison in Colorado, which isn't too far outside Denver, and he's been competing since the age of 6, which means he's probably been there, done that, and gotten the car sticker. Including getting a 3-buoy count at 11.25 meters. So another skier who's capable of throwing down at that line length.
I was a northern skier, Tony. I came out of Missouri.
Yeah, I remember.
They had 6 months you could ski. The beginning and the end, you were in wetsuits.
When the ice fishing wasn't so good.
Correct. It really brings a hunger for the time that you do get to ski.
Yes, indeed. You just got to make the most of whatever time that you have, and if you don't have an awful lot of time, well, got to make the most of it. Here we go. This is Paul Kulig.
A little deep at 2-ball. As you see it come into the side, he gets the handle a little higher than his shoulders.
But he's not panicking, though. That's the thing. He's
right.
not panicking at all.
And that you'll see skiers do that. They'll have the handle, maybe at their waist or in front of them, shoulder level, and all that helps them make a turn.
All right, now he is shortening down.
All right, you want to make everybody know shooting is starting over there.
All right, so Paul Kulig, this is at 13 meters. Now I would say that with like 16 and 14.25 meters, those are the passes where it starts to feel like short line. But once you get to 32 off or 13 meters, that's where you've got to kind of make that decision whether you're really committed to your craft, at 32 off, and progress beyond there.
Okay, when the skiers sitting in the water right now, they're actually shortening the rope. A lot of stuff goes through their minds as they get ready and set for this pass. They know what rope length it is, Tony, and they'll set themselves up to be able to run this pass.
All right, then. So let's have a look at this line length. It is 32 off, 32 off. A reminder, once again, he went in at 55 on the opening pass on 14.25 meters. So this is only his second pass with the line length with this boat speed at 58K. The first time that we've seen him at 32 off, and not bad at all.
Real positive. When he comes through the wake, he lets the ski start casting out. And what I mean is actually pivots under your body. It moves its way out, and then as it gets out to a certain point, he releases, and he's real smooth at that release. It doesn't look like the ski's breaking real hard coming to the buoy. It keeps it nice and smooth, and it helps him make nice, smooth turns like he did.
Yes, indeed, and taking advantage of the whole zero-based scoring system, where you don't necessarily have to go in at the maximum speed to go on a relatively shorter line. It's there as a way for you to get into rhythm and to get used to the conditions and what have you, So. We didn't see 58K on his opening pass, but we saw it on every pass beyond that as the line gets shorter.
Right. As that line gets shorter, the swing gets faster.
Yeah.
And the skier has to make adjustments and calculations in split seconds to when they turn loose of that handle, when the ski goes out, and when they make that turn.
Indeed. All right, here we go. Here comes Paul Kulig.
Okay, he might have been a little narrow at his gate start.
Oh, a little off balance off one.
see how he comes into 3. See, he gets
Oh!
stood up.
Oh, yikes.
Bad tumble.
Yeah, it looked like he was actually physically trying to grab the handle and go really soon into the backside of this turn. You take a look at this right here. You'll see a perfect illustration of that. Good extension, handle up high to his chin.
Right in here, you see the handle. He come up. He pulled up just a little bit, which meant he went to his tail.
And then there is where the whole thing started to go pear-shaped.
Right, and anytime you hold on to the handle, and you go into a fall after you leave the wake, Tony, it's a hard fall.
Oh,
I mean, you start spinning and tumbling, and you're definitely out of control at that point.
I've seen people separate their shoulders falling like that. It's not fun.
No,
it's not fun at all.
All right. Actually, the easiest falls are by the buoys. Because your actual speed is the same as the boat. It's almost 36 miles an hour. But when you're going through the wakes, you're hitting maximum speed, and the water density gets so much harder that it just feels like it tears parts off.
And it gets even more dense than when the water gets colder as well.
That's true. That's true.
I'm ready when you are.
58.14, 14.25 meters for Travis Torley. Let's see what we've got. 58.14. All right, let's see what we've got. Travis Torley, 14.25 meters or 28 off. Let's have a look.
You know, when you really watch slalom, Tony, it all looks like it's all about the turn, and it's really, you know, for most skiers, I try to calm them down, and it's more of, you know, hooking up to the rope and getting that pull. And those were nice. He was a little harsh on his turns, but, you know, he was able to get in sync with that pull, you know, pretty quick.
All right, so just looking at this once again, and just receiving some more questions. This one's CD Waterski. Is the driver adjusting the line length tabs on this Nautique when the skier cuts the rope?
Well, actually, on these newer skier Nautiques, they actually automatically do that. So,
because whenever you select the line length on the computerized system, as long as you recognize that at the end of that pass that he cleared it, then it goes to the next one, doesn't it?
Some kind of technology that Craft has, you know, to be able to adjust things and fine-tune the boat for each skier, each pass. You know, you have all the boat speeds and letters and numbers that you can choose, and then the trim tab actually changing as the skier actually is going, you know, before he goes through the course, but at the rope length that he's at, so that he has optimum conditions behind the boat.
Man, it is a far cry from the ski teak from back in the day, I tell you.
Actually, a Mustang was a
Mustang. Yeah, Mustang
was a tough one.
Yes, indeed, in the mid-70s.
That boat was another 3 feet narrower than what they are now.
All right, here we go. This is 32 off. Wow, there we go. He's run through 14 and 13, and Travis Torley not looking bad at all.
Right, he's rushing a little bit here towards the end of the course. I see his upper body getting in maybe a little bit too early in the lean, not holding it rigid enough. He's letting the boat pull him over too much and almost getting him out of control as he went into that turn.
All right, and another skier who originally comes to us from Colorado. Yes, there we go.
He knows that hard water skiing.
Yeah, in the Rocky Mountain State. Yes, indeed. And his personal best is 3.5 at 38 off, so he's gone 14, 13. He's about to attempt 12 meters. Let's see if he can get up it, so to speak.
So right now, you know, the boat actually, you know, all the driver has to do is to touch a number in a keypad in the boat to say that the rope length has changed, and now that trim tab, or the thing right over where the prop wash comes out, it changes, Tony, with each of the rope lengths.
All right, here we go. This is Travis Torley. We are in the amateur skiing phase. It is 13 meters. Whoa!
Out of control.
Out of control there as well. So he must have gone in at 55.14 on his opening pass, which means that is half a buoy at 13 meters. Half a buoy at 13 meters.
It's really nice. All the skiers are getting into where their personal bests are, Tony. They've got to be elated, of their accomplishment to be able to do, to come close to what your personal best is, whether it be practice or in tournaments. And those are two different standards.
Exactly.
Depending on who's driving for you.
Exactly.
But that anytime you can get in the same run that your personal best is, you should be very happy with the way you ski.
Yes, indeed. And you saw a graphic up on the screen a few moments ago, detailing the Nautique, the 6.2 liter engine, like over 400 horsepower of power, and the foot-pounds of torque and all of that. Well, definitely a far cry. And you're basically taking a NASCAR engine and putting it in the boat, and after years and years of research and tuning, you've got this.
Right, and that all comes from input from skiers, trying to make it easier for the driver as well as the skier. I mean, the boats you and I skied behind, 250 horsepower, 210 horsepower, was the top of the line. I remember back when we had our first outboard motor on our boat, a 75 horsepower Johnson, and it was like the cream of the crop at that time.
Yeah, indeed. And, and the drivers had to work that much harder, too, just to keep that boat in the course and also to manipulate the throttle. Drivers don't do that now.
Right. Most of the boats back then all had rounded bottoms, so as the skier would pull out and go towards the buoy, the boat would roll over to its side. And, the way the boats are designed today, they have little square edges, harder edges on the outside. The boat doesn't rock back and forth very much. The pylon might shift maybe an inch or an inch and a half, but it's dead on.
All right, then. So our next competitor up is Dan Abracia, which is coming in at 52K at 16 meters or 32 miles an hour, 22 off.
So each of these skiers, Tony, are working against their own personal best to gain a score for their team. We see the boat speed's a little bit slower here. The rope length might be a little longer. All that doesn't matter. It's how they're handicapped of what their personal bests are.
All right, so checking that out. That is Dan Abracia. That was at 32 miles an hour at 22 off. For those of you that like your line lengths and speeds and the imperial measurement from the old world.
Right, it's hard to to let people know that. For him running 32 miles an hour is just as hard as for one of the pros running 36 miles an hour.
Yeah.
The same pressure. It's just the time hasn't been put in and managed right yet for them to get to that level.
Indeed. So Dan Abracia there at 32 miles an hour at 22 off, or 52K at 16 meters. And actually, he's a men's 7 competitor, which means that 32 miles an hour is his top speed. So now we're moving on from 16 meters to 14.25 meters, with that boat speed staying the same for men's 7.
That's right. It's 32 miles an hour, so that's his top boat speed. Age is the factor which changes his position.
Oh, here he is. Look at him go. This is Dan Abracia.
Whoa.
Oh, getting into a little bit of difficulty there on his approach to number 4. It looks like it's going to be 3.5, 3 1/2. Great skiing. 3.5.
You watch, Tony, as he comes through the wakes, this is slower speed. The skis are a lot mushier, and he'll actually get pulled over as he comes into this buoy. When he comes in to turn, he won't be able to hold it. And you can see his rear's pulled back a little bit for this stance. And right about in here, we're going to see his rear get dropped back even more, and it actually buckles him right over.
All right, so yes, indeed. And it's good enough for 3.5 at 14.25 meters. And we are here in in Groveland in Central Florida. And for those of you that want more information about all of the things that you can do within this wonderful part of the state, you can go to visitcentralflorida.com. visitcentralflorida.com. Yes, we are indeed in the water ski capital of the world. You can find out more by going to visitcentralflorida.com. Here we go. Now, let's have a look and see who is next. It is Greg Chapman.
Okay, Greg's one of our Florida drivers. I mean, he's a senior-rated driver. Excellent. I mean, all the skiers love the way he drives, and we'll see him in the boat actually driving later on.
And skiing as smooth as he drives, I would imagine. looking very good. You know that's something that the drivers who actually ski have an additional appreciation for.
Right. They understand when the skier says, "Hey, was you off center?" Or he'll pay more attention. He knows keeping that pull and keeping the boat centered is real easy. That Nautique, with all the accomplishments that they've done, making that boat better, it lets it drive a straight line and makes his job easier.
I tell you. And another piece of technology among the whole cornucopia of technologies in that boat is the shore path system, which has been developed in recent months.
Right. I haven't had a chance to try that. And I drive coal a lot.
Yeah.
And I really wanted to do that. So, because it's as a driver, I sit in the boat and you're looking out the front. You use things on the bow of the boat to help guide you down through the course and know when to counter steer and know that when he loads the boat and he pulls up to 800 pounds somewhere in there, you have to correct for that because he's clear up on the side of the boat.
Indeed, and I mean a nice thing with that system is it provides instant feedback at the end of the pass. How much you've deviated along the slalom course, if indeed you have.
Looking really nice.
Yeah, look at this. Whoa, a little bit late there going into number 6.
Got a little lazy, I think, right there towards the end of the course, thinking, I've got this made, but,
Yes, indeed. It ain't over until it's over, and that was on 14.25 meters at 32 miles an hour.
Don't give up too soon. I mean, that agony of defeat is when you go around 6 ball and you don't make it to the gate.
And so much technology, as I mentioned, in this boat now. I mean, it's all come about because of a technology that was declassified under the Reagan administration in the early part of the 80s. It's 3 letters. It's called GPS. And now it's everywhere.
Yeah, it's everywhere.
It's in phones. It's in watches. It's in boats. It's in everywhere.
Right. It's making it more difficult for thieves to steal cars because the GPS tells them where the car is at. Locating them. I think last week I saw that in the news. Some guy had hijacked a car with kids in it. He let the kids out, but then they traced it by GPS and found the car.
All right.
So all that measures speed.
Yeah,
indeed. That GPS actually measures the speed of the boat and keeps it within 1/100th of a second.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And the technology has only gotten better in recent years. This is at 32 off 30 meters.
I don't think I've ever watched Greg ski this well. He's always had mishaps, just like what we saw, where he almost missed the 6 ball. But he looked really good right then.
All right, we'll get the buoy count there, but I mean, he looked pretty good. Let's have a look at this at gate shot. Oh, just a little bit off his edge as he comes in. Had to ski all the way up to buoy number 2. So it looks like it's going to be 3.5 at 13 meters for Greg Chapman.
Yeah, it looked like he threw his hands up, so I think he was quite happy with the way he skied.
All right, then. Now we're going to take a little bit of a breather here and wait for Wade.
Hey, thanks, Tony. Here at the starting dock with Brandon Waters, who is a local and a member here. So what's it like hanging out with all the pros skiing at your own lake, huh?
Oh, it's great. I love it, man. It's just hang out and get to know them all. You see them on the webcast and at the dock, but now you get to hang out with them at this tournament.
And you got your daughter skiing and made it to the Nationals this year, right?
Yeah, she competed and got her first medal and her first nationals in jump, so we're pumped on that.
Cool. Feeling the nerves just a little bit? Got a lot of people watching today, huh?
Yeah, there's a lot of people, not just what you see on the shore, but at home watching too. So yeah, I'm a little nervous. I'm not much of a slalom skier, so this is all new to me.
Yeah, you're a jumper, huh? Hey, hence this is a spot to be for a great jumper, right?
Yeah, I love it. There's no better place to jump than this.
Well, good stuff. Back to you, Tony.
All right, thanks a lot, Wade, and thanking my good compadre here, Ricky McCormick, for sitting in for a little while. You know, he could have come over here and just kicked back and enjoyed the tournament, but no, he'd rather just come and sit here with me.
You know, Tony, I was watching as the boat pulled up. Driving the boat right now is Les Todd, and he's pulled a numerous amount of world jump records. Unbelievable, and he's a very good slalom driver. His wife, Cindy, is a world record holder in the slalom. Just a real good person. When you meet him, he actually runs a nursery and deals with ferns all day long.
Indeed. All right, then. So here we go. This is Michael DeMello. He's one of our sponsors of this tournament. I think he's originally from Portugal. Oh, look at this. A 28 off. He's struggling.
Yep.
He is struggling. He's trying to... Oh, and
Yeah,
he's inside buoy number 5. So
Right, Tony, and when we go back, and I think we'll see it on the replay, when he came into 3-ball, he broke at the waist, meaning that the ski was slowing down so hard that it actually brought his upper body over his feet. And it puts too much weight in the tip, the ski slows down, and he gets narrow. So here he goes.
yeah, a little flat-footed into number 2 as a result
right, so
of
it's
that
coming
number
from
1.
right through the wake. Right there, you can see his shoulders come forward. He got broke, and then he loses all the angle that he needed to be able to get out around this buoy comfortable. So he's working very, very hard at this point.
Yeah, a little harder than he really anticipated working for that opening pass, but he gets 4 buoys for that effort. But we have to acknowledge his efforts in supporting this tournament.
That's right. We need sponsors all the time. That's a love for the sport that why he's joined the sponsorship.
Yes, indeed. We might even get a chance to talk to him. I don't know, but he
Or maybe he was feeling so good about his performances in practice that he was wanting to put it on record.
Indeed. Okay, here are our webcast sponsors. We've got Ski with Wade and also Syndicate. Syndicate by HO Sports among our supporters for this webcast. We thank those guys very, very much indeed for their continued effort, along with Jack Travers. And you see the sponsors up on your screen. So we thank you very much indeed for your assistance. All right, so who do we have coming up next? We've just seen Michael DeMello. Now we're going to go to Randy Torley. Randy Torley, so I'm guessing related to Travis in some way.
So we're big difference in ages that we've watched ski this morning. We've watched kids, probably 11, 12, 13 years of age, up to the skiers that we've just been watching now, maybe in their mid-60s. It just shows you this sport is for everybody.
Yes, indeed. And he's going to come in on 18.25 meters of 15 off. Boat speed's going to be at 32 miles an hour. That's the max speed for men's 7.
Okay, a little shaky with his balance, even when he started through the gates. And, the pull, he's really having a difficult time with the pull. He's maybe more than what he can handle sometimes. But he worked his way right on through 6 buoys in this course.
It's still the same 6 buoys as if he had perfect technique. So there we go. So
he'll sit down at that inn and do some theorizing.
Theorizing as to what. Now, you see, he's on the tail of that ski right there off the gate shot, and he's having a lot of trouble allowing that ski to swing out from underneath his body mass. You see, that he's riding behind his stack at this point. That's a trademark expression, riding behind your stack.
Right, and you can see the arms are out away from his body, and sitting back in a chair. It's like I say, it's sitting back in a chair or a grandma style, and
It's like slouching after a full
right,
Thanksgiving Day dinner.
when you do curls, you can do them jerky and real harsh. But the smoother you can do it, the more you know that you have control of that movement.
Then you get all those synapses and those muscle fibers, like pop, just.
Okay, interesting pass here. The first one was he was very thankful he got through it. We'll see how the second pass goes for him.
Looking good.
A lot calmer this time. A lot smoother. Oh, broke at the waist again.
Oh, and he's inside buoy number 5, so it's going to be 4, but it is going to be on the 16-meter line. So, all right, he'll ski into the dock. We'll take one more little piece of analysis here, courtesy of Hall of Famer Ricky McCormick. Before we,
it looked like the pass he was running it very nice, very smooth, and right there he broke at the waist. A little tiny bit, but it gets worse as he comes on down right in there. You see him brake real hard before he actually got to the wake, and that made that ski turn and start running down course, and he just went inside the next buoy.
All right, then. So, we've got Wade Cox
Hey,
here.
thanks, Tony. I'm on the dock here with Thibaut Diane, a recent college graduate, a working man. You're selling a lot of real estate. I saw a lot of your listings up the road here.
Yes, I have one. Actually, I have one here at Jack's for sale. I'm really happy. It's been good time, and doing my job. Very happy. I'm really happy.
And you're obviously a world-class skier, and this is your home site, you could almost say?
I say, yeah, I'm part of the club here at Jack's, so I train every day here, so I feel like I'm home. Yeah.
It's always a little bit different atmosphere when you have Chris Parrish, Will Asher, John Travers, and everyone's going. The cut is 10-6, right? What do you think it's going to take?
We have all the best skiers in the world are here, and I believe we're not a big amount of people, but I believe 3 will be the cut at 41. 3 for sure. You have a chance to be in. Yeah.
Well, there we go. From the dock, back to you, Tony.
All right, then. Looks like we're rejoining the boat. Thanks a lot, Wade, for that. There we go with Zane Nicholson, a member of that Syndicate pro team. And guess who we have here? Another Syndicate member. There we go, Mr. Chris Parrish. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing great, Tony. Man, so stoked to be here. And yeah,
I'm stoked to have you here. Never mind that.
Yeah, I got another Syndicate skier out there. And it's always good to see that for sure.
All right, then. So, Syndicate skier, as you are, you got a new ski.
The Omega Max.
The Omega.
I'm loving it. They made a few changes this year. And, man, it's a really fast, balanced, stable ski. It's definitely no joke, for sure.
And when skis are designed or conceptualized, they kind of have a little bit of an idea as to who this ski is going to suit. Now, from its wider forebody, I would surmise, and maybe you could correct me if I'm wrong, this is a ski that's really going to appeal to skiers that ski at 55K and go down the line quite a considerable amount of ways.
Absolutely. You completely nailed it. I was kind of talking to the core team. Let's find a ski that suits a guy for me at 36, at 6'5", 200 plus pounds, but also, like you're saying, suit the guys that ski the slower speeds. We have a ski that, rides high, keeps speed, super efficient, super balanced, and that's the Omega Max.
The Omega Max, indeed. You want to find out more? Go to hosports.com. hosports.com. So let's go for it. Okay, so we'll talk some more with Chris Parrish in a moment, but let's cross over to Wade Cox. Wade, what have you got?
Hey guys, at the dock here with Jamie Bull, and the accolades are like sort of getting so lengthy, it's hard to sort of list them all already, but sort of like a home site for you, right? You've been skiing here a long time.
Yeah, I grew up training here for a little bit, would come down for a couple weeks every year, and I've been spending the last couple weeks here, so it is like my home away from home a bit.
and now getting to take sort of the role that you're on. And now we got the ladies introduced into the Grand Prix this year. Pretty cool, huh?
Yeah, I'm super stoked that we got girls this year. You know, it's awesome to see another event having girls, so it should be fun.
And then what about the golfing and the shooting skills?
Oh, shooting? Okay, shooting I think I should be okay. Golfing? That's a no-go for me, so it'll be interesting tonight. It'll be fun.
Yeah, good stuff. Back to you guys. Thanks, Jamie.
All right, thanks a lot, Wade. Thanks a lot, Jamie, for your kind words. And as she gets ready for her turn out there, now she's been a rising star in amongst the women in recent years, I would say.
Yeah, I got to talk to her the other day. I didn't realize she was such a good basketball player. I'm a huge fan of basketball myself, so we're trying to figure out.
No, really?
Yeah, exactly, right? Yeah, I know. Surprise, surprise. Yeah, what just an incredible athlete she is. And, man, some of those 39s she's knocked down now are just, I mean, she's been knocking those out of the park.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, she ran 39 and a half. She ran, I believe, 39 and a half off for the first time over at Hilltop, which was a few weeks ago, and I believe set a Canadian under-21 record with the subsequent score into 41.
Yeah. Yeah, I tell you what, though, too, now that she's knocked those down, I think we're going to see a lot more 39s going down by Jamie Bull for sure.
All right, then. So that's someone that we got to look out for. She'll be competing against the likes of Brianne Dodd, Alicia Bagnoli, Elizabeth Montavon, and Manon Costard. But this is the 2020 Travers Grand Prix, and we will return right after this. All right, welcome back to the 2020 Travers Grand Prix. Glad to have you on board. Pulled by Nautiques by Correct Craft on the waters of the world since 1923, and with their brilliant towboats, the official towboat of the Masters tournament, and also the LCQ that's also ran here in conjunction with that. There is Syndicate, there's Nautique, there's Michael DeMello, there is Mike and Kerry Morgan,
Love
and
them.
yep. Absolutely, we gotta love them, and we've got Ski with Wade along with Syndicate, and we also got to mention visitcentralflorida.com. It's the website, the go-to website to go to find out more about all the cornucopia of activity you can find in this beautiful part of the world. So go to visitcentralflorida.com to find out more. And here we go. We've got Chris Parrish here.
How you doing, guys?
This is about the first time that you mentioned to me off camera that this is about the first time you've done this kind of analytical work with me. Okay, so I'm going to ease you in nice and slow.
Thank you.
Ease you in nice and slow, of course.
Yes.
And a thing I found out about you is you're a gamer.
I am. That's my nerdy side. I am. I'm a big Madden player.
He has a nerdy side.
Right? Yeah. You wonder where I get that from. Definitely from my dad, being a rocket scientist, space shuttle.
Oh, drop a name, why don't you? My dad is a rocket scientist.
Hey, I got to
Beat
throw it out
that.
there. Right? So, yeah, that's my get up early, have my coffee, and play a little Madden before the sun comes up. I really enjoy it.
You better be drinking community coffee.
I swear I have some.
You do?
That's what I'm drinking.
There you go. Or even some stuff from Café du Monde in New Orleans.
Boy. Don't even get me started. I love Café du Monde. If I said that right. The coffee
Café du
Olays,
Monde, yeah.
Café du Monde. Incredible. They get me so jacked up though, Tony, but they're really good.
All right, then.
Rocket Man.
Indeed, I'll get you situated with that next time you come back to Louisiana. All right, then. Looks like we got another skier on standby with Wade. Take it away, sir.
Columbia, and I've watched them both win the Junior Masters in slalom. So it's awesome to have them here. So have you trained here much?
Yeah, we've come to a couple tournaments here at Jack's. It's a very good site, so we're excited.
And where do you normally practice?
We're up in Santa Rosa with Corey Pico's training right now.
Nice. So, Federico, you guys are twins, and you're grade 12. So where are you thinking for university or for your studies?
Right now, we're not very sure where we want to go. I like Rollins, and yeah, we'll see what happens.
Well, it's nice. There's a lot of choices for college skiing now with a lot of really good schools, huh? Yeah. Well, hey, best of luck to both of you. Good seeing you again, and congratulations.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tony.
Okay, back with our action. We're joining Brian Fowkes midway through his opening pass of 55-16 meters and looking pretty strong out there. We're going to take a look at the instant replay. One of the nice things about instant replay is we can join that from the start of his pass. So we'll take a look at that. Good solid gate pull out, Chris.
Yeah, it looks super balanced. I like that little reach he's got going on there, and man,
that's smooth.
Yeah, super smooth. Oh, yeah.
Not so smooth.
Not so smooth there. Just a little bit of, I think, lack of speed right there. But, man, he looks super balanced and controlled the rest of the way down.
And I think he's checking things out. He's trying to figure out how much support the boat is going to give him and how much support the water's going to give him, if he starts to up the ante a little bit.
100%. I really think even out of 1 and 2, you kind of have a feeling of where you are and what the lake's feeling like in the boat, and then you can kind of attack the rest of the way down.
All right, so
here we go. Man, starting in the dip. Did you see that, Tony?
Yeah, I did.
Got the Nate Smith pull out.
There we go. Good knee compression.
Yeah.
Although that didn't help him with the ski going airborne into 1.
No, he's just a little bit on the back of the ski here.
Ooh.
Right?
He doesn't look settled.
No. Nope. Yeah, you're right. You can see even here he's just a little bit tentative on the reach.
Yeah.
A little bit guarded on the back. And I try to tell people you're actually more controlled on the front of the ski on the sweet spot, but that's that natural instinct to want to rock back in pressured situations.
It's like trying to hit a deep, accurate tennis shot when you're on your back foot. It's like near on impossible.
Yeah, exactly.
And you just got to just follow through over to your sweet spot and the forward half of your body, you know, to get it going.
Yeah, you just got to trust it.
And there we go. He trusted it enough to get round number 6, and we're going to see what he can do with, I believe, 30 meters coming up. And Brian Fowlks, he's a men's 3 skier, which means that he does shorten at 55K. We'll see if we can get you some information on him. Oh, yes, indeed. Here we go. Brian Fowlks. He comes to us out of Iowa, and his home these days is in Claremont, where he's a consulting engineer. Here he comes, Brian Fowlks.
No, that was a bit better. You can, as you see there, and I totally jinxed him. And I'm sorry, Brian, but actually the gate, the speed and the balance of that gate was better. And I think because of that, and what he was doing before, it was just too much there, right there at the finish of the turn. Gosh darn it.
Yeah, dang it.
Right?
All right, so that's going to be half a buoy at 13 meters, half a buoy at 13 or 32 off. Got the award for best wipeout and crash last season in the Travers Grand Prix. Though
he did, huh?
Yeah, he did. I don't think that one's going to be much of a candidate, but
no,
it was weak.
No. And Tony, who is going to be, you think, the crash of the 2 days, either in the amateurs or the pros? Like, who do you got?
In the seriously, you're going to ask me for an honest opinion on the on I know it's initials or W or FW.
Total backswing followed through setup there.
Yeah, there we go.
Man. Dude, Freddie, my heart sank for Freddie at Malibu when he had that wipeout out of 1 ball again.
And the year before.
And
the year before that.
And the year before that. It was like a mirrored fall, wasn't it? Of the one.
Pretty much. It got bounced around a bit.
Oh man!
Like took the first impact with his head, and then he did full scorpion afterwards.
Yeah, no, that was. He told me the next morning he could barely even sit up out of bed. He was hurting, man. His abdominals were pretty wrecked. If you slow that crash down, you could see him just all twisted, so I can see where his abdominals were hurting pretty bad.
And that's coverage that you can replay again right here on TWBC. So be sure to check that out if you've got a little bit of time. But stay with us live here for the 2020 Travers Grand Prix as we bring on Brandon Waters.
Such a big believer, though, in having that releasable system where you can get away from the ski when you're falling.
Sometimes it works well, sometimes not so well. I mean, 2011, that dual binding system released upon him on a deep water start on 11.25 meters.
Yes, was that
European Championships in Ricciardo?
Yes, he was just telling me about that a few days ago. Yes, how terrible is that?
It was, and it was on its way towards that title. And I tell you, anyway, Brandon Waters. Let's have a look and see.
Looks good. Same thing, just checking out the lake, the boat, the ropes, his balance, how to attack in the turns. And man, he looks really good so far. A little late out of 5, but man, he's got this no problem. And he hopefully made his exit gates there to the right. I couldn't tell if he made it or not.
So 6 buoys counted on pass number 1. We'll find out what that pass.
Now, Tony, were you there when Jarrett Llewellyn at the Pan American Games missed his deep water start? Do you know about this? Were you there?
No, I wasn't at that Pan American Games. I've never announced for the Pan American Games.
Oh my gosh, I would be so
especially
devastated.
If it were in Toronto.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, that's just a nightmare.
All right. Well, we're trying to get the line length and the speed for our competitor on the water, Brandon Waters. Yes, indeed. Try and say that a few times. So it looks like Brand. All right. Looks like we're going to go over to Wade. What you got, Wade?
Hey, back in the dock again with Ben Stadelbar. Although this isn't your home site, what are you, 15, 20 minutes from here?
Yeah, it's close to home, really close, as it gets pretty much. Get to sleep in my bed and then come over and ski. It's pretty nice.
So, family's in the business, obviously. Little brother's TWBC, dad's Swiss ski school. Now you're a college graduate, pro water skier. Life's good, huh?
Yeah, I can't complain. It's pretty much living the dream, literally still chasing it and do it for as long as I can. I really enjoy it. It took a lot of work for me to get to where I am right now, and I just want to keep going for as long as I enjoy it, basically.
Well, man, I've watched you improve over the years, and even I told you earlier this year, I'm like, man, you look better than you ever looked, man. But a 10-6 cut here, that's kind of steep, and there's no lost talent on the start list, right?
Wade.
Yeah, no, for sure. People might be, only 10 competitors, but at the end of the day, all 10 of them are really, really talented skiers, and everybody can do it on any day. So a cut to 6 is steep, and it's going to make basically the 2 first round real interesting for everybody, basically. There's no holding back or safetying it. I think you're going to have to ski every round well if you would just want to make it through, basically.
So we know you're good in the go-karting, but what about the golf and the skeet shooting?
Well, I don't know if I'm good in the go-karting, but I would say I'm definitely better than at the skeet shooting and the golfing. Ball and eye contact, maybe not my best or my forte, but it'll be fun to do something else and be out of my comfort zone a little bit.
All right, rip it up, Benny. Back to you, Tony.
Thanks, Wade.
All right, back on. We've got Brandon Waters now. Oh, and getting into a little bit of difficulty. I believe that was at 28 off.
Man, if he could just do the same thing he's doing out to his 135, if he can just take out that counter rotation into his 2.4, I think he'd be golden. I love his move out to 135, Tony.
Yeah, indeed. So it looks actually getting the score of 1.5 at 16.
Yeah, nice gate, super balanced, over his feet, over his ski into 1. I mean, he crossed the line a touch there, out of 1, but not bad. And then he kind of broke into 2 ball and then kind of rocked back, and it was he was doing the wipe out.
We have another interview next time we're ready.
All right, so. All right, beautiful shot here over at Sunset Lakes, the home of the 2020 Travers Grand Prix. We've got to thank the Travers family for really doing an outstanding job of making this event happen under so much that's happening throughout this year. Not most of it not good,
no.
But I tell you, credit to them where it's due for committing enough to this event to want it back in, even though it's not in its traditional spring date.
Yeah,
it's here.
Yeah. I swear I've already thanked John, I think 10 times for doing this and giving a big high five to Jack and Leilani, and yeah, right there with you, Tony, on that, man.
All right then, we're back. Wade, what you got?
Thanks, Tony, at the dock with Brianne Dodd. And Bree, I watched you ski as a youngin', and now we have your own youngin' here. This is Miss Aria.
Yeah, she's 18 months, and hopefully she'll hit the water one of these days. She loves the boat, so that's a good thing in the water. So it's probably only a matter of days, really, that she'll want to get the bug and get out on the water.
So you've been out on the water recently. We're at the Malibu Open, and now back-to-back events, basically the Travers Grand Prix. You feeling good?
Yeah, I mean, it's always a great day when you're here on the dock competing again. So, yeah, I'm just excited to be back and see what I can do today.
Anyone to say hi to at home?
My mama. Hi. Maybe she may not even be up. She's on the West Coast.
Okay, thanks, Brianne. Back to you, Tony.
All right, then. So Edmund Skip Hummel is on the water. 55-45, 14.25 meter start. 6 buoys there, not looking bad.
Yeah, pure attack mode on that pass. I mean, one-hand gate turn and just charging it through the turns.
Smooth, too. Look at that.
Yeah, big time. Then when you get that one with all that space, you can kind of know you're early, and yeah, he looks really good, doesn't he?
Oh yeah, absolutely, and certainly with the fin coming round and just keeping in contact with the water and just engaging that ski off 135. I mean, it looks pretty strong.
Yeah, the water brakes looks really good, and he's on that Denali ski, and great opening pass.
All right, so see what we got here. That Nautique towboat got plenty of grunt for all events. No tricks, slalom, and indeed jump. You know, and this is a place that has seen its fair share of performances, world record-setting performances across the years. You know, on the other lake, you had like Erica Langtrick in world records, slalom records here here on this lake, and also jump records too. Here we go.
Another good gate. I love how he just takes his center of mass really up to his front foot. Look at that one ball. I mean, he's just, the boat is not ahead of him at all. I mean, he's just cruising this pass. Really good pass here. I mean, just totally got this pass, no problem at all.
All right, so Skip Hummel. Edward Hummel on the water, having cleared through 14.25 meters and 13. Looking strong.
Yeah, Tony, that's the best pass I've seen in the seat next to you right here so far. That looked really, really good.
So, okay. All right then. So, that was Edward Hummel through that pass, and my good compadre here, Chris Parrish, has been called to a skiers meeting, so I'll let him do his thing there.
Thank you, Tony. Enjoyed it, brother.
Why, thank you.
All right, man.
Look forward to seeing you again. That was Chris Parrish, future Hall of Famer.
Thank you, Tony. We'll see you soon, brother.
No worries. So, this is Skip Hummel. That's how he likes it to be pronounced. He's age 61. He comes to us out of Pembroke in Massachusetts. Looking good. Been skiing since the age of 40. Been competing since the age of 42. Nearly 2 decades worth of experience here. And there you go. That is Skip Hummel. A self-employed carpenter. An ex-lobster fisherman. Among his endeavors over the years. Plans to keep moving. And he is a member of the Sunset Lake Ski Club. And sincerely thanks the Travers family for taking us all in for this competition. His personal best is 5 at 38 off. And that was 12, so that's the 12-meter run. So he's going to have a crack at 38 off, 11.25 meters. Thanks a lot for your comments that are rolling in. They are very, very much appreciated. And just keep them coming in. There's Les Todd. Okay, so here we go. This is Skip Hummel now. Round number, whoa, broken over off number 1, and the ski stopped, and so did he. So it's going to be half a buoy at 11.25 meters, a layer 1.5. It is half a buoy, 11.25 meters, and got into trouble right from the get-go. And it was definitely well and truly a case of goodbye, Mr. Bond. Except in this case, it's Skip Hummel. All right, then. So there we go. Our third skier in this group of amateur competitors. Now we got to go to Mark Needham. Mark Needham is next.
How are you gentlemen doing today? Thank you all very much for your help. 14. What's that? Oh, C2, sorry. 34 miles an hour, C2, 14.
Hi. How are you?
Good, how are you?
What's your name?
Trey.
Nice to meet you.
Federico.
Huh? Ahí vamos a ver, estoy emocionada que ya sirve Esteban, no es mío.
I'll follow you, Scott.
So here we go. Mark Needham, 55k, 14.25 meters, or 34 miles an hour, 28 off for those of you who understand feet and inches better than you do the metric system. The United States. All right, here we go. Here comes a little long pull into number 2, but managing to keep the angle going. As long as you have that, you're always in with a shout. And so far as Mark Needham is concerned, he's round all 6 buoys. So there you go.
Alrighty, I see Mark Needham out on the line. 96.
Okay, this is Mark Needham. His age, he's 64, guys. He's been skiing since the age of 38. Been competing since that age. He is retired. If he wasn't retired at the age 64, I wouldn't know what to say about that. Anyways, he comes to us from Claremont in Florida, which is the next town over from Groveland, and a native of Fort Wayne, Indiana. Says his personal best is 4 at 39.5 off, and that was from a while back. Let's see what Mark Needham could do at 32 off. A little bit of a check-up on number 1. He's good to go around number 2. Little bit behind, but he's gaining time all the time. Whoa, it took a long time to get hold of that handle off 4, but round number 5 and number 6, and that is a great-looking run. So, with Scott Ellis at the helm of that towboat, thank you for pointing that out, Jeff Clark Sr. That was Mark Needham. Looking strong. Although looking a little bit cagey on that pass, it has to be said. That was 13 meters. He's won several titles over the years, men's for Florida State and Southern Regionals, and men's 6 Florida State, 2020 men's 6 Florida State. So he's definitely there, and we're taking a look a little bit at Cole McCormick, see how he handles a shotgun. Won't get to see him as he hits the target, mind you, but it's good little breakaway to see one of the pros out there just getting a little bit of an adrenaline rush before he goes out and slaloms in the pro competition, which we will see a little later on. Here we go. This now is Mark Needham, and this is at 35 off. Short pulling a little bit, but he gets round number 3. How he got round number 3, I don't know, but he's still there. He's still there on 5. And Mark Needham gets round number 6 at 35 off. Wow. He did not panic at all. And that was probably a good portion of the reason why he ran that pass. So, this is a 35 off pass. This isn't the easiest of passes, by the way. Handled that line beautifully off number 1. A little bit of slack, but he was very patient. Took care of it, then got on the gas, as he did for the majority of this pass, and 35 off now gives him a chance, an opportunity to have a shot at 38 off or 11.25 meters. Well done to him. Here we go. We're crossing back over to Cole. And obviously the reaction there says it all. All right, so this now is Mark Needham. Round number, handle up high. He can't afford to do that too much at 38 off with the line coming up short of the buoy's width. Gets round 3 to the wakes and gets the 3 buoy count. That's one of our better scores today. It's 3 at 38 off, 3 at 11.25 meters, and that is Mark Needham. So, Mark Needham, the co-holder of the men's 6 slalom state tournament record with 3 at 38, basically skied it. So he's about par for what he's capable of at this time. So good skiing there from Mark Needham. All right, now we have got, coming up next, Federico Jaramillo. So, Federico Jaramillo, junior world record holder in slalom with a personal best of 1 at 41 off. This is a special skier, folks, and he's going to be coming in at 14.25 meters to open up his account. Shouldn't have any troubles running this opener. So, looking strong, good gate pull out. That's always a good indication of what a skier is capable of when they have a nice, controlled, steady pull out for the entrance gate with no slack in the line, with good angle, with good width retention. And as you can see, the rhythm it generates is certainly good enough to allow him to run that opener. 14.25 meters, barely a warm-up there for him. He hasn't even broken into a sweaters yet. Although the weather around here would probably make you conjure up a bead or two above your eyes.
Oh, where do I get a bib?
On dockside right now, we have Felipe Miranda. I believe it is anyway. Or it may even be Dave Wingurter from Syndicate. Here we go. This now is Federico Jaramillo. Nice. I like it. I like it a lot. Federico Jaramillo. 30 meters. Good stack position off the turn for the entrance gates. A skier who's capable of running through this pass and then some. 32 off. And now 35 off comes up next. So, Federico, who is aged 17, who comes to us originally from Bogota in Colombia. His current home or base is Santa Rosa Beach. He attends the South Walton High School. He is a graduating senior. as we cut across to some of our folks are shooting at clay pigeons. That's another element to the 2020 Travers Grand Prix. Here he comes, Federico Jaramillo. Oh, a little bit loose off number 2. This is at 35 off. A pass that he can't afford to be complacent with. Can't toy around with 35 off and expect to run it. But I tell you what, he has. And he's now going to get ready for 38 off or 11.25 meters. Now, another important aspect is the pass count, because he went in at 14.25 meters. So by the time he gets to 41 off, he'll be on his 6th pass or 7th pass. And that requires a lot of stamina and a lot of skill to efficiently make your way around all 6 buoys on these passes without completely leaving you spent. So, Federico Jaramillo, Junior World Champion in Slalom, Pan American Champion, probably in the same event, Latin American Championship, 2-time Masters Champion, and he trains with the likes of Corey Picos and Drew Ross and Santiago Correa. And of course, he mentions that his wins of Junior Worlds and Junior Masters and Junior US Open and Latinos all in the same year are among the experiences that will not be forgotten. Here comes Federico Jaramillo. Look at him go into buoy number 1. Gets a good anchor off number 1 and number 2. Aerial edge change into number 3. Holds the ski down into number 4. There's that edge change into 5. Looking good. This is 38 off. Our first skier to get through 38 off is Federico Jaramillo. That is pass number 4. Now he's looking for the next one. That was 11.25 meters. And now 10.75 meters. Coming in for pass number 5. Now, as this competition is a sanctioned world record capability tournament, let's see what the possibilities could be here. Let's see what the possibilities can be. He is still 17, which still keeps him in the junior category. As long as he doesn't turn 18 between now and December the 31st, he is still a junior competitor, which means that, let's have a look here, 39.5 off. If you can get through this and more than one, we could be looking at possibly a new world record. Round buoy number 1 gets a good stab. Round buoy number 2, he's a little loose. He's good to go. Round number 3 gets the 3. Will not ski anymore, but it is a 3 buoy count at 39. And that is all she wrote in this round, at least 3.5 at 10.75 meters for Federico Jaramillo. So, Federico Jaramillo. Yeah, just got a little out of sorts there into buoy number 3, and you just know at that point that if you try to make a play on a buoy and you come up second best, well, unfortunately you don't get to ski much beyond that. Very few skiers get into that kind of situation and still be on top of the water come 6 buoy. So Federico into the dock, 3 at 39.5 off. Now, 39.5 off pass, you have to be on your game right from the get-go. If you're less than perfect, then the chances of you making it fall somewhere between slim and none. All right there. Now we've got Dave Wingurter. who comes to us out of Washington State. He is the head of Syndicate by HO Skis. He's the top dog, the big cheese.
Yes, please.
You're in the boat instead of skiing.
No, ven acá conmigo.
So Dave Wingurter. I believe it's going to be a 13-meter start. Oh, it's a 14-meter start. 58.14 for Dave Wingurter. All right, let's rock and roll, guys and gals. This is Dave Wingurter, and this is 14.25 meter pass. This is the same line length that Federico started in on. Very smooth entrance and exit into buoy number 5, and that was just a smooth pass altogether. And he'll be coming back on 13 meters, believe it or not. It is Dave Wingurter. Had the pleasure of heading on up to the Hilltop Pro-Am not too long ago, and got to spend a little bit of time over there with Dave Wingurter over at the HO factory, where he showed me the new processes that they employ to build slalom skis. And it is certainly an eye-opener, the technology that is used and used in building the cores and everything like that. And then having employed that much technology into making the ski, the kind of hand craftsmanship that is actually involved in actually creating the finishing product with some true artisans up there over at HO Sports, the home of Syndicate Performance Skis, and certainly with the challenging times ahead of us, it's good to see that that the likes of Syndicate continue to employ the staff that they do, and keeping that operation running as if nothing had happened. It's 32 off. It's Dave Wingurter, and it is a wonderfully executed pass at 32 off. So now, there we go. That is Dave Wingurter. 32 off. Has the measure of that pass. No worries there at all for him. And Dave Wingurter's Syndicate Ski Company, one of our sponsors of this competition, and we'll show you the remainder of our sponsors in just a moment or so before we pull him back up onto the water. We've got Jack Travers involved. We've got Ski Doc. We've got Nortiques. We've got Mike DeMello. We got Mike and Kerry Morgan with their support of this event, along with Ski with Wade. We thank all of those entities indeed for their support. As we see Dave Wingurter at 35 off. Gets the good start round buoy number 1. He's still very much ahead of the game here. Keeping the ski out ahead of him. Trying not to be too distracted by what's going on. And there you go. That is about as smooth a 35 off as we've seen in this competition thus far. And whenever you are comparing that to the likes of Federico Jaramillo and the other skiers, that is very, very high praise, I would say. So there we go. That is Dave Wingurter. 38 off coming up in just a moment or so. So, this is Dave Wingerter, who flew in all the way from Seattle in the upper left corner of the United States to be here with us. The opposite was true a few weeks ago over at Hilltop, where many of the world's top water ski athletes traveled to that part of the world to compete in that competition. Here we go. Oh, look at that. This is at 38 off, 11.25. Oh, got in deep off number 3. He had to check up on 4. He's good. Oh, my word. Oh, it was that close. That close. Just a smidgen away. Just got on the front of the ski and it just bit back on him. Just so close. I'm sure he's absolutely kicking himself if that's entirely possible in 6 feet of water. But I tell you, he certainly got in deep off number 3, and you kind of think that maybe that overpowerment off number 3 affected his chances of making an effective play on 4 and indeed number 5. But there you go. That is Dave Wingerter. It is a 4.5 buoy count at 38 off, 11.25 meters. All right, so a lot of great skiing, a lot of great shooting, and we'll be doing a little bit of golf come tomorrow night over at Top Golf to determine who wins the Travers Grand Prix for 2020. So, here we go. Our next competitor up. This is Luisa Jaramillo. Looking good, looking strong. Can't fault her at all. A native of Colombia, this is Luisa. So that is a 16-meter opening pass. And and this, at least the top half of the bio reads almost as a carbon copy to her brother. She's age 17. She is a graduating senior at South Walton High School, not too far away from Santa Rosa Beach. Her aspirations are to go to college and be a student, all that good stuff. Her personal best is 1 at 39.5 off, so 6 buoys down from Federico, but it's the Colombian national record. Junior Masters Slalom title, she's won that. Second place in Junior Worlds, third place in the Moomba Masters. Trains with Corey and with Drew. And winning all those titles and doing it the same year is amongst her fondest memories. Here we go. This is Luisa coming in on 14.25 meters. This is 28 off. Let's see how she gets along. Yes. Nice. The style is there. The poise is there. And the pass is there. Nicely done. So that is Luisa. Coming back on the 12-meter line, it is going to be Luisa Jaramillo. All right, then, here we go. This is Luisa Jaramillo. Now, she's run through 16 and 14. This is now 13 meters, 32 off. Keeps the ski running wide, as you have to at 32 off. Getting broken forward into number 4, but looking good for 5, and will absolutely smoke 6 buoys at 32 off. Yeah. $35. Okay, looks like we got a little bit of a situation here. That was indeed 35 off. I was figuring that I misheard that it was 16 meters on the opening pass, but she started in on 14.25 meters, meaning that the pass that she just ran was 35 off. So she went 14, 13. She just ran 12 meters, and now she's going to attack 11.25 meters. It is 11.25 meters coming up next for Luisa. So this is going to be an attempt at 38 off, 11.25 meters. The Nautique rounding that island. 38 off, 11.25 meters. Colombian national record is 1 on the next pass. 38 off, look at her go. Round buoy number 1. Keeping it going. Oh, off her edge into number 2. She will ski for 3 and will not get to the area behind the boat, which leaves her with 2.5 at 11.25 meters. 2 1/2 at 11.25 meters. We'll see where things started to go a little bit sideways there for her. Got the reach, got the extension, but just couldn't really hold that angle across the back of the boat. Got in a little bit deep. By that time, she was generating way too much speed, and it was that speed, as a matter of fact, that caused her to let go of the line and ski. Didn't make it to the back of the boat, so scores 2.5 for Luisa. All right, Mark Shaw is our next competitor to take to the water. Mark Shaw. All right then, folks, accelerating up to speed. This is Mark Shaw. 28 off. And being a Masters main competitor, his max speed is 55k. So 14.25 meters opening pass, nicely done. So glad to see all of you guys watching in on YouTube, on the YouTube channel, commenting in. Please feel free to do so. If you have any questions, I will endeavor to answer them to the best of my ability. If you just want to throw a shout out there to a particular skier or anyone here at this beautiful facility at Sunset Lakes for the 2020 Travers Grand Prix, you can do likewise. But make sure that you adhere to the terms and conditions of YouTube. All right then. All right, turning round the island. And now approaching the course. Here we go now. This is Mark Shaw, and this is a 13-meter attempt. Looking good, looking strong. Keeping the flow going. Look at him go. Round 1, 2, 3, 4. Number 5. And the 6 buoy will continue his effort here in the Grand Prix, the Travers Grand Prix. All right, so just taking a look at this instant replay. Looking in good shape for the most part, I would say. I can't really fault him too much on his technique. Mark Shaw, who stands at 5'9" and weighs in at 170 pounds, a good lean BMI there. Likes ice hockey and golf, in which case this event really suits him right down to the ground. His personal best is 2:41. Has tricked over 7,000 points and has jumped over 210 feet off the 5.5-foot ramp. I think he's an overall skier. And he is the current world overall champion in 45 plus. So, rocking the Syndicate Alpha on that one, on that particular run. That was at 35 off. Shouldn't have had any worries at all running that pass. And here is Mark Shaw, and he lists as his greatest accomplishment in water skiing, winning the 2018 45 plus world overall title. And that title that he gained was made even more special because about 3 days prior to the event, it actually came down with shingles, which is really, really painful from what I've been told. Haven't contracted it myself, but then again, I haven't contracted measles in the entirety of my health livelihood. Here we go. This is Mark Shaw. Round number 2 and 3. This is at 38 off. He's early. He's wide. Look at that ski rock. He checks up on 5. He realizes that he's got more than enough room to get that ski round buoy number 6. Yeah, buddy. That is a 6 buoy count. All right, so good skiing there. There's Mark Shaw. I'm running 11.25 meters, about as well as you could do. Getting good extension, allowing that ski to just absolutely just rock the angle. And as long as you have that and balance, then you're always going to stay ahead of the game at 11.25 meters. And there you go. Okay, so Simon Fallon shouting out to Federico from Simon Acevedo. Tom Asher from Stoke Skis. Shout out to all the Brits. And Paul Bedakivas wanted to know where the running order is. Well, I will try to get you a link to where the running order is, but just stay on track with what we're doing here, and that should provide you with the information that you need. And it looks like with a 2 buoy count, it is 2 buoy count at 10.75 meters. That is Mark Shaw. Mark Shaw with 2 at 10.75 meters, 2 at 39.5 off. And we'll see where things have started to rock back. Oh, look, that ski went over the line, as a matter of fact, and he was lucky to still have that ski angled away and still make it round buoy number 2, given that hiccup on number 1. So there we go. That is a 2 buoy count at 10.75 meters, and that is Mark Shaw. All right, as Mark Shaw makes his way back, we're going to leave the stage open for our next competitor, who should be Celia Stern.
What do you want?
32 miles per hour, B2, minus 22.
All right. Next competitor up is Celia Stern. We'll get the particulars so far as her. Okay, so 52K, 18.25 meters or 32 miles an hour, 15 off for Celia Stern, who's originally from Lock Haven in Pennsylvania. Okay, so Claire Stern, that's how you pronounce her name. I was just giving a check on the pronunciation. Claire Stern. Skiing since the age of 2, competing since the age of 13, and she's 16 right now. So a high school junior out there on the water. Or a sophomore. So nicely done there. Hobbies involve golf and tennis. 2 great activities to help enhance your physicality on the water so far as skiing is concerned. And I'm sure she appreciates the final event of the Travers Grand Prix, which is Top Golf. Currently in 11th grade. Claire Stern. Personal best is 1 buoy at 32 off, which means she's got a ways to go. This is her opening pass of 18.25 meters or 15 off. All right, here comes Claire Stern. Not looking bad at 34 miles an hour. She is a girls 5 competitor, which means the max speed is 55K. All right, so Claire Stern, 52, actually 55 at 18.25 meters, or just 18.25 meters. Running that and now getting ready for 16 meters, or 22 off. All right then, folks. Looks like a little bit of shooting taking place out there on the range. Oh, here we go. All right then, here we go. This is now 16 meters for Claire Stern. As we take a look at the tail end of some of our shooting over there on the range. This is a free event tournament with a difference. It's slalom, it's skeet shooting, and golf for a rather unique tournament format that involves the pros as well as the amateur competitors. And at 22 off for Claire Stern. Yet starting to put more pressure against the toe line and looking pretty strong as it turns out. Claire Stern. 14.25 meters is the next pass for Claire Stern, having run this one. And good extension round buoy number 1. And just looked a little off balance coming into buoy number 2, but held that angle and held her balance neatly. Looking in great shape, it would appear. Claire Stern. So, nicely done. This is our penultimate competitor in the amateurs in round 1, which means there's one more amateur to go. Got Sage Podbecker on the starting dock getting ready for her turn, but let's see how far Claire Stern can rock her way through this pass of 14.25 meters. Checks up a little bit on number 2. Brings it on for number 4. Little bit rocked on number 5, but she cruises number 6. She made that pass look easier than the one before. And now she's going to have a crack at 13 meters. Her personal best is 1. So let's have a look. Let's have a look at the screen here. There appears to be a challenge on the gate for Claire Stern. I don't know what the. Okay, so Claire Stern is going to attack 13 meters. But some of you actually saw some pictures of her entrance gates on 14.25 meters. I don't know how the judges are going to interpret that if they get the chance to see it. So 13 meters now. Her personal best is 1. This is Claire Stern. Round 1. That's a PB equals. That's a new PB. And that is a 2 buoy count at 13 meters. That is Claire Stern. So good skiing there from her. Well done. Originally from Lock Haven, Pennsylvania, but now a resident in Groveland, Florida. which is where we are. And it's looked up to peeps such as Corey Vaughn and April Coble and Natalia Berdnikova, and indeed the staff that works tirelessly here at Jack Travers Water Ski School ITS at Sunset Lakes. So, Claire Stern, from our perspective, from what we see, that is going to be a 2-buoy count. All right. Next competitor up. This is Sage Potbecker. And going in on 16 meters. 55, 16 meters for Sage Potbecker. And she is going to be the last of our amateur skiers to go. And then we'll get ready for our pro women and pro men. And then we will go on to the amateurs for round 2 to conclude our skiing for today. Sage Potbecker. Nicely done, 55, 16 meters, no worries there for her. And she will continue to ski. Skiing girls 5, Paige Potbecker, who came away from Trophy Lakes a couple of weeks ago, a big old winner. Potbecker doing a great job on the opening pass. Don't have much in the way of information on her, unfortunately, but what we do know is that she's run through 16 meters at 55k for opening pass. And there you see our sponsors along the bottom here. We've got Syndicate over there, Nautique over here, and Mike DeMello, Mike and Kerry Morgan, Ski Doc, Jack Travers Ski School, and Ski with Wade among our supporters for this event. All right, let's have a look and see. Sage Potbecker. Oh, yeah, 14.25 meters. Nails it. All right, so coming back on 13 meters, and when we do bring our pros out on the water, we will actually have some information, some telemetric information from our skiers. The amount of tension that they exert upon that toe line, the heartbeat, the speed that they carry, all that good stuff, and it's an exclusive right here on TWBC. All right, let's rock it. This is the Nautique towboat bringing in Sage Potbecker with a 6.2-liter engine. And there you see the other stats associated with it. Here comes Paige Potbecker, and this is now 30 meters or 32 off. Looking strong, looking in great form here, Sage Potbecker. 30 meters, making it look like 16 meters. Good effort there from Sage Potbecker. So, all right, so we... All right, so, hey, Scott Potbecker, who is tuning in and watching in on Paige, on Sage. Thank you very much indeed. And indeed to everyone that's watching in, and especially to those of you that have taken some time to comment. Just to get you up to speed, there is going to be a little bit of a break after the conclusion of Paige Potbecker's set. And I'll tell you why in just a moment. Round buoy number 1. This is 35 off, 12 meters. Oh, look at this. Look at this at 12 meters. She's still there. She's letting the ski run. She can't afford to get too much later at 35 off. She's round 5. Look at this. It's a 6 buoy count at 35 off. Yeah. Nicely done. All right, Sage Potbecker. Woo. Stoke City, USA. Here we come with Paige Potbecker. Yep, she's a happy camper, and this is only the first round. Sage Potbecker. 6 buoys, 35 off. Now getting ready for 11.25 meters. Rarefied air for a lot of these girl competitors, especially in girls 5. So here we go. Sage Potbecker, 11.25 meters. Scott chiming in as well. Thank you very much, sir. All right. Sage Potbecker, 11.25 meters. Just to tell you that we are going to be taking a very, very small break after the end of Sage Potbecker's performance. Need to put in the buoy cam into the slalom course for our pros. Round number 2. At 11.25 meters, that is going to be her best score. Well, her only score up to this point, but it is the high points of her performance. It is going to be 2 at 11.25 meters. Yeah, that ski came round, but she didn't go with it, unfortunately. She got round number 2, and that is all she wrote, literally. So it is 2 at 11.25 meters for Sage Potbecker, and that will represent the balance of her performance. Let's take a look at this from the boat one more time and see if we can go frame by frame here as she comes out around buoy number 1. Jumped off her edge, lost most of the angle that she needed to get round number 2 effectively, and that is number 2. Try to make a play on 3, but way too late for that. So that is Sage Potbecker. Her personal best was 1.5 at 38 off, so that is a new PB for Sage Potbecker. It is 2 at 11.25 meters. It is a new PB, and she's still got 2 more rounds of skiing to go. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the Open Women's competition is going to take place next. We are going to go into a little bit of a break, and we will catch you on the flip side of that, right here at the 2020 Travers Grand Prix, right here at Sunset Lakes. Don't go away.
What's up, everyone? Sean Murray, Team Nautique athlete, here today to take you through the world record-setting Ski Nautique. Over the course of water skiing's history, the ski nautique has been at the forefront of progression at the highest levels. Every step of the way, the ski nautique is responsible for pulling world records and setting personal bests for skiers around the world. Let's go check out what it has to offer for 2021. The ski nautique comes in at